All right, hello and welcome to the Ukrainian Cup. My name is just Jordan. This is going to be my first time casting this shindig. Super excited. It is an all Ukrainian tournament. Unfortunately, I'm without a co-caster. My good friend Ward had other things to attend to today, so I'll be rolling through the games alone. But I don't think that'll hinder the quality. Hopefully, you guys enjoy hanging out. We can throw up the bracket real quick because I know that this is going to be a new piece of content on my channel. I am joining the Ukrainian Cup in the playoffs. We're already pretty deep in this bracket. We're going to be starting off with Kos and Jaros. That's going to be the upper bracket quarterfinals. There is a Terran versus Terran. And from there, I believe that we're going to head down to the lower bracket for those two matches that you can see are ready to go now, and then we'll head back up. No, we're doing Tamaga versus Rostock first. So we're doing the two upper bracket matches, then the two lower bracket matches, and then we have Hellraiser's upper semifinals as well. So we got 5 series ready to go here on this beautiful sunshiny. I know you guys can't see it. Beautiful sunshiny Saturday. We had a yeah, I know you guys can't see, but I had to turn on a lot of lights to combat the sunshine out there. So it's a beautiful day, wonderful day for StarCraft. It's a Saturday. We're gonna go ahead and get into the first game. All right, spawning in the upper right of Ancient Cistern, the red Terran for Hot-Headed. He is Jaros. And in the bottom left, the blue Terran. Oof. He's listed as Chill Marine here. I think his name is something different in that bracket. Let's see, Jaros. Yeah. Nope. Kos. That's Kos. It's Chill Marine. Okay. I knew I recognized the Starcom logo. So Kos is a player that I used to cast way back in the day. I've been casting StarCraft for many years. I took a break, but back before my break, Kos was still, a regular staple in the, the pro scene. So I'm used to seeing him. Jaros is going to be a new name for me. But Hot-Headed Gaming is the team that he represents. Big shout out to Hot-Headed, excuse me. Huge sponsor of the Ukrainian Cup. Dropping $500 on that prize pool. We'll talk more about the prize pool in a little bit, but if you are watching and you got a free minute, !Matcherino in the chat. If you guys have been watching StarCraft for a while, you should know all about Matcherino. Follow the link, and there's plenty of ways to add to the prize pool, both if you're feeling generous out of your own pocket, and also there's a couple free methods of doing so as well, and they're super simple. Double gas from both players. We don't have... Oh, there's the factory out of Kos. I was wondering what he was waiting on. Yeah, I guess we got started in this one a little bit early. But yeah, Matcherino has a couple quests that if you don't have the funds to donate to the prize pool directly, it's as simple as following a Twitter account or subscribing to something on YouTube. There's even a couple that add to a little bit just for following Twitch accounts and things like that. Little things that you can do that only take a second and a couple clicks. And you're bolstering the prize pool for the Ukrainian Cup. And all of the proceeds on Matcherino goes directly to the players. So every little penny that gets added to that prize pool is going to be paid out to the players. Kos is putting supply depots just anywhere, but he still hasn't finished the wall. That's so weird. Oh, I guess this is Vision. It seems a little early for Vision in this particular spot because this is like for drops and stuff. So I'd almost rather see the wall be built now and then have the the Doom drop spotting supply depot placed later, but just taking a look at some of the people in the bracket. Night Phoenix is somebody that I've been casting lately in the OSC Elite Rising Star. It's been fun watching him progress through the ranks. Hellraiser is a name that I hadn't seen in a while, but he's been a staple. He's been around for a while. So has Kos, Damaga. Awers, if I remember correctly, is the mech Terran. Oh, we got some action here. Pass on the aggressive side. It's a beautiful engagement. Luckily, this CC finishes just in time, and I think that this force has the ability to take on the Cyclone, but they don't want to push up. Hellions go down, and now it's just a Cyclone versus so many Reapers. Yeah, I think he realized. I wish he would have realized sooner that he could take the Cyclone. Yeah, the repair was just too good. I think if he had hopped on it down in this area when he had the chance, he definitely could have gotten it. You know, those Reapers and Hellions are super fast. I think they would have been able to catch up and stop that supply depot from going up in time. And yeah, that could have seen this game go a much different route from that point forward. But all in all, great engagement. Great engagement from Koss. Maybe to call 5 workers with that. Wait, what? Oh yeah, I was misreading that. Sorry. The colors. I was my co-caster was getting confused by the colors on the worker kill count up here as well. Tank gonna shoo away these Cyclones, so it kind of threw me off as well. I'm really liking the. I know that Terrans typically don't enjoy TVT because of the Raven and how much it can shake up the early game. You know, when you only have 1 or 2 tanks, disabling them right at the beginning of an engagement is really painful. But I just think that the Raven in its current iteration is such an interesting unit. They finally got the little projectile thing down. I remember when when it used to be a seeker missile. Oh man! And when they finally changed to the anti-armor missile, it did way too much damage. Oh well, now we see why the supply depot's out here. It's for Raven harass. Ooh, little misclick. He does get it down, but I guess the tank is. Oh wow, tanks actually make fast work of these things. Only 2 SCVs, not big damage. Third base going down on location for Jaros. He says, hey, I'm on the map. I got the Raven doing harass. I got 2 Cyclones in the middle. I know you're not on my side of the map, so I can take the safe third base. Meanwhile, Koss only just now starting his here at the front. But it's going to be tough. This push, that early third base might have done him a disservice. Cyclones picking off a couple Marines here and there as they retreat. Tanks in position, but not sieged. Oh, this is a travesty. I think Jaros misread where the army was gonna go. If this tanks can get into position, if Koss's tanks can get in position sieged of this area right here, it's gonna be really difficult for Jaros to break that position. And he's just way out of position. Yeah, they get. Oh yeah, GG is called. Wow, wow. He said, I don't even want to try to fight my way out of that position, and he pieces out of that game really fast. So really fast. Really fast game here at a Koss, much faster than I anticipated. Because usually things like that, you know, you're going to take some losses, right? But it's generally not game damage. But he was just so far out of position. Like, he had the Cyclones out on the map to scout their approach. And then the second that he needed to know where they were actually going to make their final attack, like their final push, he just kind of backed off and then guessed as wrong as he possibly could. That's going to bring us to game number 2 on Royal Blood between Jaros and Koss. It's interesting to me to see Koss in the... Oh, this is an upper bracket match. I was going to say, I thought I was originally going to be starting in the lower bracket, but... Oh yeah, it looks like he actually was seeded into the upper bracket. I'd have to see how that goes. I believe... I don't know if that was a seeding thing or what. Yeah, this is my first little foray into the Ukrainian Cup. Hope I can do it justice. I see here. Yeah. So this the tournament started off with group stages. You can see this on the Wikipedia page. Started up with group stages, and that went into a round of 12. There's 4 groups. Each had 3 people qualify, and the first person out of each group got seeded into the upper bracket quarters. There we go. All right. Game number 2 on Royal Blood is cranking up here. Let's go ahead and jump in. Spawning in the upper right, the blue Terran for Starcom. He is Kaz. And in the bottom left, the red Terran for Hot-Headed. He is Jaros. A little more about Kos while the game gets underway. Kos, of course, is a Ukrainian Terran player. All the players in this tournament are Ukrainian. He is 34 years old, which is for pro gamers is an advanced age. And speaking as a fellow 34-year-old dude, I think I'm allowed. No hate, Kos, but we're getting up there. Approximate total winnings over $85,000. So that should tell you everything you need to know about the fact that this man has had a very long, fruitful pro gaming career. He's been playing since Wings Liberty, and he's currently EPT EU rank 48 with 20 points. Once again with these scouting supply depots, it's a great touch, you know. That's not something that I've seen very often. We always see this one for like the Reaper aggression, right? Like this is the most common one. But I haven't seen this. I haven't cast many TVTs either. The other tournament I was casting only has 4. It was like 16 or 20 participants, and only 4 of them were Terran. I wonder what the. While I'm thinking about it, I wonder what the racial distribution of this tournament is. Oh, 11 Terrans, 12 Protoss, 6 Zerg, and a random player apparently was somewhere. So healthy Terran representation. Zerg's underrepresented in this tournament. It's interesting to me how different regions of the world gravitate towards certain races. Like I used to cast a lot of Latin American StarCraft, and there are so many Zerg players in Latin American StarCraft. It is by a large margin the most popular race. By a huge margin. But here we see, you know, Ukrainian tournament, and Zergs are underrepresented. So it's just interesting to me to see, you know, different regions of the world and how they gravitate towards different races. I think maybe it has something to do with the pro players from that region being of a certain race. Like the first pro player I ever really followed was Scarlet, and I'm a Zerg main. I don't know that those two things are linked, but, you know, I think that it's got to be something. Once again, we see the same push from Cassio. He did so well with it last time, but it looks like Jaros is a little bit more active, a little bit more ready for it. Tried to focus down the SCV, getting the CC finished. And yeah, it looks like Jaros is going to get the better end of this trade. Well, maybe not. I wouldn't mind seeing the SCVs fight a little bit here, since they happen to be here. You know, that little bit of extra point of damage probably could have saved this. Ooh. Wow, he ended up getting the Hellion anyway. 2 workers killed. 2 workers killed, and he didn't have the units that were made it into the main base to continue wreaking havoc. So I feel like Jaros definitely came out a little bit better at the end of this trade than he did before. Oh, losing this medevac would be absolutely huge. I think he's going to lose it anyway. Yeah, he's going to lose the medevac, but all the units get out of it. The Cyclone escapes with its life, though. Yeah, that's huge. Picks up the medevac, doesn't lose anything for it, and now he's able to defend. SCV is being pulled to make sure that Cyclone survives, because he's going to need it to defend if these units decide to commit. Man with gun, good unit. Shout out to Sniper StarCraft League in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with us, man. And thank you for the opportunity to cast a Shindig. Oh, Cyclone's back out on the map. I don't know if he has lock on autocast. I feel like maybe it's worth turning it. Ooh. Just barely getting away. I think maybe turning the Cyclone off, lock on off autocast this early might allow you to pick off more high value targets. Like imagine if he had target fired the lock on the tank. He may not have killed it, but like there's no way to repair it out here. And that's going to make, if he does decide to push, it's going to make the tank much more vulnerable. Ooh, attacking into the siege tank. I guess he just thinks he has enough to break this position, but he's not doing any damage to the tank yet. Takes out the Cyclone. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was the most cost-effective trade for Koss. And also, this is like way away from his base here, so there's like no need to defend any of that stuff. And now he's tanks chasing tanks. Oh, he gets it too. This is the funniest game of cat and mouse I've ever seen. A Raven and a tank chasing a Raven and a tank. Just TVT things. Stim coming down for both players. So it's like we're settled into a normal bio versus bio game. Once again, Jaros taking that third base on location. I really like this decision. It is a bit risky, especially in TVT. And, you know, you speak to Terran players and they say, why take the risk when you can just float your base over? But, like, that is a little bit of extra mining time. And in a game of seconds, like, every little edge you can get is definitely going to count. What a weird sequence of fights. Yeah, I know. The tank Raven chasing the tank Raven was something that I don't think I've ever seen in my years of casting StarCraft. While we're on the topic, we are casting these games from replays. That gives the players a lot of flexibility in scheduling their games, and it also means that we can cast with no delay, and I can interact directly with chat. And as a solo caster, definitely appreciate that ability. So if you guys want to chat, talk about the games, I'll be more than happy to keep up conversation during the game. 1-1 from both players as well. Nearly identical builds. Third base is up. Yeah, you know, Jaros, despite having a rough first game, seems to be on pace with this game. Another scouting supply depot out here. You know, I used to play scrimmage games against somebody who would do the same thing, but he used missile turrets to scout, because he's like, well, that path is going to be dropped, so the missile turret not only scouts it but also damages the drop. Oh, air superiority for Koss, and he knows it. He's going to push this. He's going to push Jairus' forces back for now. Oh, they did not make with Game Heart, so I cannot see. Yeah, just scanning the main base of Koss, seeing what's up. Because all he saw was Vikings, I think, up until this point. I don't even think he got close enough to see this Marine. I don't remember if he did get that close or not. But all he saw was a bunch of Vikings, so yeah. The threat of it being mech or something crazy was still out there. But now he saw all the barracks, he knows what's up. Sensor towers out. I love the Marines. The Marines out. He could even push them out a little bit further. See, like with Zerglings, it's a pain because it's like they can watch the medevacs and stuff fly over, but at least the Marines have some recourse to defend themselves. Oh, there is one over here to catch the drop. Nice. They got the little, oh, I can't zoom in on that one. Looks like the little Carbot star on the shoulder. Yeah. Little squad of scouting Marines. Not sure what those three were hoping to do, but they did. They happened to walk right on the outside of the sensor tower right when there was going to be a move out. These three might be able to pick off a couple SCVs, though. Maybe deny the base from going down. Well, Koss pulls all of his forces back for these three Marines. And then he realizes it's just three Marines. Koss wanted to send in a drop, realized it's scouted by a supply depot. It's like, well, can't have that. Koss has a pretty healthy army supply lead. Even with the drop up to the north, I still think that his odds of taking this fight are still fairly good. Let's look at the army of Jaros. 4 tanks versus 5 tanks. No, it's 5 here. So yeah, it's fairly equal. There's just no Viking count. That's a huge concern. Jaros has 6 Vikings, but I promise I don't see that. Drop over here, going to be picking off some SCVs. I think Costa's going to be looking to reposition at the front here. No, he's actually just going to retreat. He's like, this drop is getting enough damage done. It's going to be 8 additional workers killed in that drop. He ended up not saving the medevac or the Marines, but honestly, it caused enough trouble and got enough economic damage done that I think that was fine. 5th base coming down for Cost as well. Looks like it's going to be on location. Yep. Forward position right at the front of these, where the Venn diagram of the sensor towers touches. That sensor tower for Jaros is super vulnerable. Yeah, not a moment too soon. That sensor tower for Jaros is gone. But to be fair, Koss has his in the exact same spot. It's just that Jaros isn't really out on the map right now. Different 5th base location for Jaros. Way off to the side. And then getting this position sieged, especially if he knows the space is here. He doesn't. But if he does, I mean, he has this blocked off. He can basically get the base for free. Morphing into a planetary now, but Terran definitely has the tools to defend against that. Oh. An extra push over here. No tanks with this. Bio Army, the anti-armor missile is definitely going to help. Though that side of the Marine Force is melting, but I don't think that there's enough here. The tanks come down, some anti-armor missiles to defend at the front. Vikings are going to land to help defend against this. Luckily, the main army from Koss over to the right side of the map pushed away. Oh, they got the tank, and this isn't going to be enough. Vikings are not really great at defending against stimmed Marines, but ultimately it's pushed away. He's lost 10 Vikings so far, though. Those are very expensive to replace. And it seems like the main army of Koss isn't really able to find purchase, but it's able to pull just enough away that, you know, multi-pronged aggression is able to find some damage. Any additional workers killed? 4 additional workers killed, but it did seem like a very cost-effective engagement here. Yeah, currently he's leading by almost 2,000 minerals, 500 gas in trades. This is starting to look more like a mech army than a bio army. This is so many tanks and Vikings. Lots of tanks. Everything is going to... Are they in range of the... Yeah, they're in range. Vikings are probably going to be able to finish this off. Nope, the SCV is going to come just in the nick of time. Oh, big Doom Drop pulling out. The base is no longer over the SCVs, and he loses it for that. Nice pickup from Koss. Huge force right underneath this drop, ready to go. I think it's going to be too much stimmed bio here to begin with. This is a lot of Liberators, but that's... Yeah, like they weren't effective in defense, and that's a lot of gas to just lose like this. So Jaros, Joni's down but not out. Fighting underneath... Oh, the Vikings are going to land again. Losing a couple more Vikings, but ultimately saving the base, which is huge. Looks like, yeah, there's another command center ready to go. Oh, 2 more ready to go. So Jaros has the bases to recover. He's ahead in workers. Yep. Not only is he building in the same spot, but he's building it closer to the rocks. One Neutrino says he's going to build that thing in the same spot for a 3rd time. And if he just built it half a screen further down, it wouldn't have died once. Oh, here we go. 1 siege tank is not really going to seal the deal here. Koss is going to push forward. Yeah, these tanks are in range of the planetary. SCV's being evacuated. I think Koss has the damage that he wants, and he's going to go ahead and return home. No, I think he knows the base is up here now. Oops. Well, I figured it out this time. But Jaros is on Koss' side of the map now as well. There is a planetary. Tank's not yet sieged in range. Liberator. Going to start picking off those repairing SCVs. Base under construction is going to be focused down. That was not a cancel. Liberator unsieges. Planetary taken down. And finally, Jaros is finding some decent damage on the opposite side of the map. Let's see if he can keep up the tempo. Koss's army very slowly moving back to defend against this. And it looks like Jairus is going to head up to the north to kill this base. It's not even a planetary yet, so it's definitely ripe for the pickings. Oh my gosh. This is so many planetaries. Okay, this army just looks tiny compared to cost. Not the most favorable engagement. He no longer has high ground vision. Oh, with the scan he does. Liberator's pushing the tanks back, and most of this army is gone. They might be able to pick off this base, but these units I do not think are going to make it home. Jairus does still have 100 army supplies, down 30. If these can get the base, it'll be huge, but I think the odds of that happening are fairly slim. Yeah, Vikings are going to be able to save the day. Oh, look at the mule call down. Nice touch, but Jairus on the aggression again. A bunch of unsieged tanks, but they're just too great in number. GG is called. That extra push was just annihilated. We wasn't able to pick off the CC. Jairus taps out, and Kaz is going to maintain his position in the upper bracket. Sorry, the chat. Shutdown source was not visible. Well, I found out why the chat box is not showing up. All right. Cool. So, I know for a lot of you, it's going to be your first time on the stream. In between series, we do run ads, and it's specifically so it disables pre-roll ads for new people coming into the stream. So between series, I'm going to run a couple ads, no more than 2 minutes, and then we'll be right back with more StarCraft. Coming up next, we're going to have... Where's it at? Coming up next, we're going to have Demaga versus Rostock. That ought to be a good one. Demaga is a player that I've not cast in many, many, many years, so I'm interested to see what he's been up to. So 2 minutes, we'll be right back. Stick around. We still got plenty more StarCraft left to go. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Hello and welcome back to the Ukrainian Cup, brought to you by Sniper StarCraft League and Hot Headed Gaming. My name is just Jordan. If you are enjoying the cast, I encourage you to drop a follow. I plan on having the rest of the Ukrainian Cup games cast right here on this channel, as long as my good friend Sniper and I are able to work it out. Looking forward to, getting into the Ukrainian StarCraft scene. I know a couple years ago I did the same thing with the LATAM scene, and it was really fun, like getting a real deep dive into, the StarCraft scene in other places. So we are getting into the next series. It is going to be Demaga versus Rostock. Every time I mess with this thing, go. Where we at? There we go. Demaga versus Rostock is going to be a ZVP. Like I said before the break, I'm really excited to be casting games from Demaga again. He's been around for quite a bit now. He's a player that I've casted games from before, and it's been nice seeing names like Haas and stuff that I have not seen for a while, and being able to cast some games from them for the first time in a long time. First game is going to be on Ancient Cistern, spawning in the bottom left. The red Zerg for Berserker Esports. He is Demaga. And in the upper right, the blue Protoss, he is Rostock. Is that Hazard Esports? Let's see if we can find something on... Oh, looks like Hazard does not have their own... Does not have their own Wikipedia page. Neither does Rostock, so he's going to be a little bit of a wild card. But that's like that's the benefit of casting these cups from other regions, or cups of like semi-pro cups, right? Because you get to discover new players, and you get to watch their storylines develop as you cast more games from them. So I think that to me, at least as a caster, I'm assuming for you guys as viewers as well, getting able to find new players, see how they perform, find somebody whose playstyle you really enjoy, and be able to follow their careers, Twilight Council coming down from Rostock. We'll be keeping a close eye on that. Could be Adepts, could be DTs, could be any number of things. So we don't know a lot about Rostock, but Demaga is definitely a player with a long history in StarCraft. He's a Ukrainian Zerg player playing for Berserker, 36 years old, $78,000 approximate total winnings. And usually this is on the low side because it's only tournaments that are reported to Wikipedia. But wow, this guy says this guy's biography goes all the way back to the StarCraft 2 beta. So he's been playing from day one. Stalker coming out to push this Overlord away. We'll take a look at what is going on. It is going to be Glaives. That Twilight Council timing definitely did say to me Glaives, but I didn't want to do the caster thing of call it early and be wrong, So the Stalker pushes away the Scout. It's going to be up to Demaga to scout the lack of a third base. Know that something's up. It is pretty common in ZVP nowadays to just drop a Roche Warren in case it's something like this. It's pretty flexible in terms of being able to defend against most, 5-minute pushes from Protoss without being a huge dedication of resources. And even if you do end up with some roaches in your army after you hold the push, it's not the worst thing in the world. Roaches do fall off a little bit the later the game goes in a ZVP, but they're nice, big, beefy units to have to defend against early aggression. He's keeping his Adepts right here at the front, though. So all he's got to do is push this Overlord back in, see the 5 Adepts, and be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Prism starts up. Yep, was going to say I wouldn't be surprised to see a Chrono on that. Yep. Zergling out here to scout a move out or third base. But what you're seeing, neither. I don't know if he's going to be able to see the third base if it were to have gone up already, but it's Demaga. I'm sure he knows what he's doing. Yep. Like we said before, Roach Warren, always a safe bet. Evo Chamber Spores, too. So the Spores are a little late if this had been a Stargate opener, but I think he scouted the Warp Gate timing and knew that that was highly unlikely. Zergling's going to go across the map, try to cancel a third base that's not there. And he's going to have a bunch of Adepts in his face. We got 5 Roaches warping in, 5 already done. So he's going to have 10 Roaches total to defend against this. They're going to go straight for the third base. There's only 1 drone to be had there. He kills the Spore, but he does so like right in front of the main army. So we know Demaga's attention is likely focused on that spot. All the Zerglings, they could get in if they were paying a little bit more attention, but Demaga's got a lot on his plate to deal with right now. Only 1 drone has gone down so far, but the fact that he killed that Spore and like focus fired it down should indicate to Demaga immediately what's going down. Yeah, he builds another Spore Crawler. I wouldn't be surprised to see another one at the third base. We don't have a lair yet either, so he's definitely yeah, he built it here to move it over. Definitely. Or no, he moved this one over and built the new one in the natural. I like this decision, yeah, because he knows the likely follow-up to the depth pressure here is usually DTs, because if you didn't get detection, well, not detection, if you didn't get Spore Crawlers, which if it's not a Stargate opener, some Zergs will skip it, that follow-up can really end the game for you. This is so many Adepts, though. But with the Queen Roach, there's just so much. I don't think that it's really going to get anything done. He needed to be a little bit more aggressive with it. Like, get into the natural. Looks like he is going to try to focus down Queens. Transfuses are not really there. Gosh, those things nuke Queens down so fast. He does get a couple of them, but he's going to be losing Adepts for it as well. I don't see any DTs. Oh, there's 3 of them. Okay, they're in the prison back here. Oh, he walled off the natural. Oh, no. That's actually not great. These DTs could get on top of the Spore, and the wall is still here. So what are they going to be able to do? Nothing. Yeah, and he's not. He's going to lose these Adepts. Oop, recalls them immediately. But yeah, now there's no detection. There's no lair. And they're just going to go for the hatchery. Yep. This is going to be huge damage. This wall still not open. Even if they do get there, there's not going to be any detection. Oh, there's a Spore. He didn't kill the Spore. Oh, the Spore moved to try and fight the prism. He's restarting the hatchery and the natural, but not starting a lair. I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess he doesn't have the gas for that. He's still building tons of roaches. So I guess the plan here is to not even go lair and just counterattack with slow roaches, but that doesn't seem really great. And yeah, Rostock really keeping Demaga busy on Demaga's side of the map. Third base is halfway done. Finally, a lair starts. Lair, Bailing Nest. Demaga not doing so hot. Ultimately, the drone kills, though. Only 3 drone kills. But he's only on 32 drones. And this is such a huge gateway army that's been warped in on the back side of this. I think, yeah, this is not a great spot for Rostock to be in. Demaga has an army advantage right now, but it's slow roaches. You know, there's only so much slow roaches can get done. I like the decision to take a 4th base. Demaga's going to have to be really, really greedy moving forward in order to get back in this game. Yeah, fat round of 10 drones coming out now. He knows it. But this push is... where are the Archons at? I know he morphed one in. There it is. It's not with the main army. This is going to be a really tough hold from Demaga. If Rostock just goes for it, yeah, it looks like he's going to. He knows what's up. What does he have here to defend? Yeah, a squad of slow roaches. 4th base gets canceled. Adept's gonna shade in. I actually like these shading into the main. Oh, and Blink is done. Yeah, this is gonna be really rough. Especially if he saves this Archon with the Prism. Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not really familiar with Rostock. He's not a player that has been on my radar, but he is definitely putting in the work. We see the Adepts in the natural getting some drone kills, 4 drone kills. Oh, I guess he's going to hold this for now, but the 4th base cancel was huge. He's forcing out a whole bunch of extra workers. Can Demaga pull this back, though? I feel like he's losing a few too many Stalkers at this point. He's still ahead in workers, though. Did the Prism go down? No, it's just way back here. Observer finally joins the fray to push them to this creep back. 4th base is being retaken up here to the north. But we're still 41 versus 55 workers. How have the trades actually been going? Well, somewhat favorable for Rostock. It's just going to be Blink Stalkers behind this 4th base going down for Rostock. He's feeling like he's in a very comfortable position. He's got Demaga on the back foot. He's keeping on the aggression. These Zerglings, I'm not sure what these 4 Zerglings are going to do. I guess just scouting the state of the game. Yeah, drone counts. There's an Adept there. Or not an Adept, an Archon there too. He still has an Archon in the prison too. I'm not sure if he realizes that. Guess he's saving it for a rainy day. Mr. Neutrino says a few Immortals here would really help. Yeah, I mean, he has a little extra money for it. The only issue is they're not as mobile as the Blink Stalkers, so they'd likely get focused down. But yeah, the Blink Stalkers are enough. They still get that bonus damage versus armored, and with his income advantage from the early game DTs, Rostock takes game number 1 versus Demaga. Wow. That's kind of, that's how it is with the older pros like that. And I hate to call you older Demaga if you're watching. I'm also part of the old man club StarCraft 2. So, but you never know, like, especially from my position, like, I don't know how much Demaga has been playing. I haven't really seen him much in tournaments as of late. So, and then Rostock is somebody who I've never heard of. So, like, really, it's a wild card for me. But if I just looked at this before casting, I would have said, oh, yeah, Demaga should take this easy. He'll have a deep run. But you have to bring the Prism up and do some juggling. But, yeah, not really necessary. Oh, that's true. Yeah, the Immortals could have been juggled with the Prism just fine. And that would have been cool. Because he wouldn't need to juggle with the Blink Stalkers. But it is a lot to focus on micro-wise. So... all right, game number 2 is going to be on Dragon Scales. Let's go ahead and hop in. Spawning in the bottom right for Hazard Esports, he is the blue Protoss, Rostock. And in the upper left, the red Zerg representing Berserker, Demaga. Quick reminder, we got 5 series for you to cast. This is series number 2 of the day, so we still got plenty more to go. The rest of the Ukrainian Cup should be cast here. It's likely going to be on Saturdays or Sundays. We'll have more dates for you guys as we get schedules finalized. But if you want to know the next time you can catch the Ukrainian Cup, make sure to follow myself on Twitter at xjustxjordanx. Also follow Sniper StarCraft League on Twitter. That is at S_StarCraft. I'm like 90% sure. Let me double check. Yeah, at S_StarCraft for the Sniper StarCraft League. That is going to be the 2 places that you're going to want to follow to make sure that you know when we are live again with the Ukrainian Cup. Pretty standard openers here. Hatch gas pool. Falling off. Dragon Scales is one of those maps. So I do ladder from time to time. And Dragon Scales is a map that I have vetoed for one reason only. Now, it's worth noting that I am your typical high diamond low master player. But yeah, the way that these little blockers are mid-map, it wigs out the pathing sometimes as you're going from one side to the other. So depending on where you A-click on the other side of the map, just to like do army movements, your army might splinter in half and take two different paths. And then if at that moment your opponent moves out, they can catch half your army. To me, that is like the unique thing about Dragon Scales, is that it can really mess up your army pathing if you're not paying attention in the middle of the map. Proxy Stargate versus Zerg. Now, typically we see oracles come out of this, and the reason for it is the game is really hashed out. The early game for StarCraft 2. It's been out for well over a decade now. So, you know, you see the warp gate starting late. You know it's a Stargate timing. So then you know you need to take your spore at a specific time to defend against the oracle. Now, the reason you take it at that specific time is because you want that drone that's going to end up being a spore to get as many mining ships as it can before it builds. So what this does is players who try to cut that corner and build that spore at the last second are punished because it's not quite done by the time the oracle comes rushing in. And that's exactly what we're going to see here. There's actually no spores here for Damaga, so this oracle should be able to get quite a few drone kills. Oop, little bit of missed micro here. He ends up crawling it back. 5 workers go down, the oracle gets away, but with a lot of hull damage. And these Zerglings know exactly what's up. That oracle is fast. We're going to need to take care of that immediately. Yep, Zerglings are going to handle this. Stargate, not likely long for this world. Yeah, nice little pickup. I'm going to guess the oracle was recalled. Yeah, it was. Seems like a pretty hefty commitment because you're losing the pylon, the Stargate, for 5 drones. This is what? 250 minerals, 150 gas for 5 drones. I mean, it's an early 5 drones, but still. I think maybe if he had been allowed to build something new out of it, it might have been different. Start going for the glaives again. I feel like glaives builds have fallen to the wayside as of late. But I guess Rostock said, hey, if it worked in game 1, might as well roll with it, you know? I saw what Damaga's response to it was, and even not knowing his response, I was able to, you know, have a pretty convincing lead going into the mid game. So we're going to see something similar here. Hopefully, no spore in the natural, no spore in the main. We're doing double queen, spore in the third to defend, double queen in the main. And yeah, I feel like we might end up seeing the same problems here. Lack of detection on the back of the adept pressure. Before he had more spores, so he was able to like shift them around from base to base, and that definitely helped. But he just has what, the one? Yeah, he just has the one spore crawler at the third base. So if those adepts head straight for that and nuke it down, then we have absolutely no... Ooh, never mind. I take back everything I said. Old quote, oldie but a goodie. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't be fooled again. Damaga's got his lair already done. So if we see DTs on the back of this, then, you know, we'll be able to morph an Overseer and have mobile detection. So. But I will say, despite the fact that we're ready for DTs, the first step we're having a little bit more trouble with. 9 workers have gone down so far. These adepts forcing lots of lost mining time. 11 drones total so far. Still got some adepts alive. But it's also just straight into a blink transition. We're not going into DTs at all. Most of these adepts are going to be going down, though. They're very weak. Yeah. So that's going to be the end of it. Glaive adept's going to get a grand total of 13, 14. Oh my god. I really thought he was done at 11. So 14 drones for that. All in all, not bad worker damage for this point of the game. And again, we see Rostock with a huge worker advantage, 65 to 48. And again, Damaga has the army advantage, but for how long? He does have roach speed and +1 missiles coming in, so this could be like a roach max out coming. 4th base on the way, linear 4th. The 4th base options for Zerg on this map are really not that great. Like, you have the forward base. It's a little bit exposed because it's so close to your enemy. This one, the walking path from your 3rd, is pretty lengthy. Like you can see, even with the tumor, it's not going to be connected with creep. And then if you take the triangular one here as your fourth, there's this huge dead area that Protoss can play, or like this area of your main base that's not creeped. And then you also have dead airspace back here that they can play around with for harassing purposes, and they can just jump between those bases. So not sure how Damaga plans to handle that. He is getting another evolution chamber though, and a Bailey nest. So it looks like it's not going to be a Roach Max or any, weird mid game pushes. It looks like he's just going to train or just keep chugging along in a macro game. He is finally catching up in workers. Looks like Rostock took Neutrino's advice and has some Immortals in the mix, but this is a completely different composition. We have the Sentries for Force Field. We have the Blink Stalkers getting that bonus damage versus armor targets and the Roaches, and then Immortals to pack a punch in the back line. And then Prism for juggling. Blink is already done. +1 weapons is already done. And yeah, I think this is just going to be the pushers. No fourth base on the way. This is it here. Army counts are even, but this is a pretty technical army here out of Rostock. There are Ravagers to bust these force fields out, so we'll see how it goes. Force fields are good. But this is the last wave of force fields we have available at this point. Is it going to be enough? I'm going to go with no. It's not going to be enough. The army fought kind of disjointed. And yeah, I think Damaga really needed to pull back and wait for another round of production to come out before he took that engagement. But even then, like, who knows? The Immortals definitely got their work done. They were focused down, but, to what end? GG, good luck in next. Damaga taps out. Rostock going to maintain his position in the upper bracket, knocking Damaga down to the lower brackets. Wow. Sniper in chat says, dang, the upset. Like I said, you guys know way more about these players than I do. I do not know that that's an upset. I don't know what Damaga's form is looking like lately, and Rostock is a player that's brand new to me and doesn't even have a Wikipedia page. That's typically how I yep. No Wikipedia page for him. So precious little information there. All right, we are going to go into another quick break. 2 minutes only again. We're going to roll some ads just so new people to the stream don't get those pre-roll ads, and we'll be right back with more StarCraft. Let's take a look at this bracket. We're going to be headed down to the lower bracket. I believe it is going to be Awers next. Yes, Awers versus Gretz is going to be next. That's a Zerg versus Terran. You're not going to want to miss it. Stick around. We got plenty more Ukrainian StarCraft left to go. All right, we're back with more Ukrainian Cup brought to you by Sniper StarCraft League and Hot Headed Gaming. Big shout out to Hot Head, can't say it enough. Dropping $500 on the prize pool. Wow, big support. Big thanks to Hot Headed Gaming for that. If you would like to support the prize pool, Matcherino in the chat will give you the link to the Matcherino page for this event, where you'll have the options, or you have several options to contribute to the prize pool. Some involving, donations out of your pocket, out of the kindness of your heart, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them are completely free. As we said before, you can, it's as easy as following Twitter accounts, subscribing to YouTube accounts, really simple things like that only take a couple clicks. And just like a game of StarCraft where every tiny, minute advantage adds up in the late game, every little contribution to the Matcherino page adds up to a larger and larger prize pool for these players. And as always, with all sniper events, the money in the Matcherino goes straight to the players. So any contributions on Matcherino are going to benefit the players and the players only. We are going to be getting into the lower bracket here moving forward. It's going to be Awers versus Gretz, Zerg versus Terran. Once again, an old name that I'm excited to see, that I've cast games before. Games of before. Awers, if I remember correctly, and I believe that I do. He's a mech Terran. We'll see if he's still playing mech like I remember. Or maybe my memory does not serve me well, but I'm pretty confident on this one. I think Awers also used to go by a different name too. I don't remember what it was, but he had another name that he went by. Yeah, his Wikipedia page is known as a Terran player who plays a mech style in all 3 matchups in all of his competitive games. So yeah. Let's get into game number 1 on Neo Humanity. Fun map to cast. Spawning in the upper left, the red Terran. We were just chatting about him. He is Awers. And in the bottom right, the blue Zerg player. He is Gretz. So Awers is a 28-year-old Terran player. As we've previously discussed, he plays mech in all 3 matchups. Let's see if that still holds true today. Approximate total winnings of $1,700. I feel like that's a little low. Used to play for Cascade and Iron Chain. Those are some... Oh, Blazer MKers? Okay. Currently representing Harbingers. Oh, apparently he shares the team with Hubsaya and Minato. Minato, an Zerg player that I used to love casting games for. Man, I used to see Minato. Ooh, greedy little fast gas third base here from Gretz. I'm excited to see what he has up his sleeve. I used to love casting Minato because he would play Pure Ling styles. And he would beat Korean Terrans with the Pure Ling styles. Because he'd just be like Pure Ling, Evo Chambers, and he would hammer upgrades. And then just take bases, more links. And he would just smash these Terran players. It was so crazy to see. Cascade is an old team. I don't know if they still have a StarCraft division. Cascade 1X Bets. I think it was like a StarCraft team that also had like sports betting and esports betting, but I'm not really sure. This is like really dated knowledge for me. Oh man. Yeah, I went back and looked. I stopped casting towards the end of 2018, and I'm only just now getting back into it this year, so. Do you have link speed coming down? He is going to let this aggressive third finish. Terran's going to have precious little he can do about it so far. But there is some interesting things you can do here with these rocks. So, if I remember correctly, you knock down these cooling towers, and they block these. Like these cooling tower will, I don't know if they fall down at the same time. I've only ever seen it done once in a game where these cooling towers are knocked down. And I feel like it's because a lot of players will veto Neo Humanity, so you don't often see the map in competitive play in general. And then when you do, you know, those rocks might never be of any consequence. You know, I feel like more often than not, it's these gold minerals right here that open up this linear third base location. These are more often interacted with than the rocks at the front, but we'll see how it goes. He's currently just using his like macro. He didn't even saturate the gas. I guess it is going to be a little exposed before Ling Speeds is finished. Oh, yeah, there it goes. Drone's heading across. When they all fall, the cooling towers. Thank you, chat. This is like the biggest boon of not having a delay is that I can rely on chat for little tidbits of knowledge that I don't have. So shout out to Muon Neutrino in chat saying they share HP. If you knock one down, they all fall. So, and if I remember correctly, they block each of these ramps respectively. So you can open these paths and then reclose them there, which is a pretty neat little thing. Unless I'm wrong and they block this, but I doubt it. I want to watch that clip, but I don't think that it'll come up muted. Here, let me see. Oh, it does block the slow zones. Huh. Okay. That was a very useful clip. Thank you. Yeah, I've only ever seen it done in one game, and I honestly couldn't even remember what game it is. I know that there was what map? Ruins of Endion. If anybody can remember that far back, they had collapsible rocks like that as well, but they were set up in a way that you could destroy units with them. So what Protoss players would do is they would knock down the rocks to like 25% health or 10% health, and then they would drop a stasis ward where the rocks would fall. So when the main army was attacking, they'd get stasis under the rocks, and then they'd kill the rocks, and it would kill what was ever in the stasis. Is a really neat little trick. I saw it happen a couple times. Roach attacks. I guess this is what the aggressive third base is for. I think these are slow roaches too. Yeah, there's no lair. These are slow roaches. It's just dedicated. Man, they are streaming across the map too. I guess this is the anti-mech, right? Because mech is going to be slow to charge up and have limited capabilities. That Infernal Pre-Igniters, though, if that blue flame finishes, it's going to be a huge boon because it feels like Awers was pretty greedy here. He's already at 54 workers without really scouting what his opponent was doing. And yeah, he's paying the price for it. Naturals being evacuated, third base is evacuated. So far, only 10 SCVs have gone down, though. Cyclones, Ravens at the top. He's going to lose a lot more SCVs before this is held, if it's held. But we do have Hellbats. Blue Flame is still a little ways off. And we just have more and more units streaming across the map. Ooh, Cattle Bruiser. Oh, I guess the Battlecruiser was across the map. Yeah, killed 2 drones, but ended up having to come back to defend. Friendly fire on the Zerglings on the low ground. Finally, it looks like Awers gains control of his base, but not before he's at a significant worker deficit. You know, mules are going to help close that gap, but being 30 workers down is huge. He's down 16 army supply as well. If he continues making battlecruisers, though, that's going to be an issue, but I don't know how he's going to be able to afford that with the rest of the mech army, given all the damage that he's just taken. He definitely has quite a bit of infrastructure, but now it's just going to be a matter of getting the economy back up to produce off of all of those factories, the Stargate or starports and everything else. Sniper said I'm taking notes for my ZVTs. Well, I mean, like, this is different from Ladder in the sense that, you know, Awers is well known as a mech Terran, you know? So armed with that knowledge going in, you know, that little bit of meta knowledge, the onus of you to scout is not as great. You know, you're not going to be facing a 2-1-1, you know? You're going to be facing some sort of, you know, of mech shenanigans, so you can plan accordingly. And essentially that's what he's doing. I like the idea to open up the new attack pass, though. As Zerg, that gives that level of mobility helps you out a ton. It's not even really a battle mech style. So the Hellion Cyclone battle mech is pretty common for standard styles of mech, especially versus Zerg. Because the Hellion Cyclone is a little bit cheaper while you're getting your economy up. And it packs a punch, and it's highly mobile. So you're able to harass the Zerg, keep them on their side of the map, It's a pretty sturdy army as well. Ooh, this battlecruiser and the Raven. I think he's going to lose the Raven. Yeah, loses the Raven. Going to have to stand and fight in these auto turrets because the queens are a little slow. But the battlecruiser, I think, thinks it can take the rest of these queens. It's going to be close. Ooh, but the corruptors are coming out. Shoo the battlecruisers away. Upgrades coming out for Zerg as well. He's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases now. So yeah, Gretz seems to be handling this really well. Awer's still at a worker deficit. Still no 4th base in sight. Still in construction in the natural. Or I mean in the main base, sorry. And yep, this is generally the counter to Battle Mech. So Battle Mech will start the lock-ons and then scan to maintain the vision because it has an extremely long range. But then on the retreat, you can drop some biles, and usually they'll have to back off. They'll either have to eat the biles to chase, or they'll have to back off and cancel lock-ons as a result. So the Ravagers are a nice touch of this Battle Mech, but Awers isn't really even playing Battle Mech because he's still peppering in tanks with the rest of his production. Usually with this, you would go straight Hellion Cyclone and, you know, build a couple Banshees or Ravens out of your starport. And then once you get to a really healthy economy and you start trading out some of the Hellion Cyclone, you replace it with tanks and Thors, you know, depending on what you need. But Awers is building like a wide range of different things. I don't know if he's lost any battlecruisers yet. No, this is the same battlecruiser that's been here the whole time. Well, not long for this world. 19 kills. You gonna warp it out? Yep. Well, lives to see another day. Baneling speed and Baneling's coming down. That's going to be a nice touch when Baneling speed finishes. It's really going to give Awers a lot of trouble if he wants to try and push on to creep with this Battle Mech army, because those speed Banes are definitely going to get on top of them and do great things. 4th base finally on location for Awers, being morphed into a planetary. Like army portion of this army is so small though, because I feel like every time he moves in, he trades off portions of it, and he's struggling to really get to that critical mass, you know. Little run by pushes out, try and open up. Ultimately unable to find purchase. Siege tanks already in position for that. But yeah, the speed Banes are why he's trying to keep this creep pushed out here. That's why he's fighting in this position, because he needs to keep that creep pushed out so he can have that additional speed to chase this army. And so that those Banelings can get connections on this army, because even if they hit the Cyclones, they are going to do massive damage, and the Cyclones don't have any regenerative powers as well. So every little bit of chip damage you can get on this army is going to be huge. Hellions at the sensor tower going to spot this run by. Huge fight outside of this planetary. It looks like the Banelings are going to connect some of the SCVs to make sure it can't be repaired. He gets the damage he wants, and he's going to try to get out. It is intercepted by this force, and I don't think any of these units are going to escape. Oh, nope. He wins the fight at the south, so he's no longer surrounded. Gretz is going to stand and fight. A lot of these Roach Ravager do have that Seeker Missile gone, but it's going to be a lot easier for Gretz to replace his Roach Ravager Ling than it is for these Cyclones and tanks to be replaced. So we still see Awers dancing back and forth, not trying to trade out anything if he can help it. Losing that planetary was huge, though. He's still trailing by 20 workers. Got an army supply deficit, and we see tons of upgrades coming down for Gretz as well. +1 missile and melee, +2 flyer attacks. Infestation Pit only just now coming down, so he's been on tier 2 tech for a while. You really like to see Vipers coming out about right now as well, because that guarantees your damage. You know, like anytime the Cyclones get within range, you can just yoink a couple of them. Or the Battlecruiser, you can yoink the Battlecruiser, pull it in. Grab some of those high-value targets, and keep that Terran player from reaching critical mass of those high-gas, high-value mech units. 2 fights going on. I don't think that the CC is going to go down. Maybe if all these Biles connect. It is on fire, so we're going to have to see if he gets the repair down on that. This is overwhelming forces here for Gretz. Meanwhile, the battle mech army at the front is very small. It does end up getting a base. Oh, the Biles. I like this touch. Make sure that CC goes down, and it does. Battlecruiser called back to defend. Base is killed, but we are able to clean up the rest of this little mech army. And when the dust settles, we see Gretz with a 50 army supply lead and still maintaining a 10 drone lead, even if he did lose a base. But now Awers is only refinishing his third base, floating his main base down to continue mining from there. But Gretz is already back in his space, ready to go. Going to be some more Biles going down on that CC. Oh, no. Try to catch the battlecruiser with him. 3 corruptors in production. We only have 1 currently. Oh, the SCV is repairing. They were stacked up. The Biles is able to nuke them both down. And Awers is losing control of his natural base. And GG is called. Gretz is going to take game number 1. Man, all the players, it's so weird to see all the players that like I liked from the olden days are, you know, they're dropping games to players I never heard of before. It's really like the next generation of StarCraft coming through. You know what I mean? It's you'll love to see it. BC is super annoying, but if there's just one, you can ignore it, I guess. Well, he dropped the Spire and he got +2 upgrades, so I wasn't ignoring the prospect of BCs at all. He was definitely respecting it. At least that's how it seemed to me. He was like, I definitely can see that BCs can and will continue to be a threat. So, oh, the fly, that's annoying. Yeah, just enough to make you swat at it, but you can never quite catch it. Not a bad reference. All right, we are going to get into game number 2. It is going to be on Grezvan. Spawning at the bottom right, the blue Zerg player. He is Gretz. And in the upper left, the red Terran. He is Awers. Going to be a couple seconds of silence on the stream while I handle some technical things on my end. There'll be no more than about... All right. We're back in action. Everything is good. Hatch gas pool here out of Gretz. Pretty typical things. Grezvan, I think, is lauded as one of the most, one of the more standard, normal maps of this pool. This map pool, aside from the maps being a little bit larger, I think, than in previous iterations, fairly standard. There's not a lot of obvious bans in this pool. Like, Neo-Humanity has a lot of weird stuff going on, but I don't think that it's necessarily an obvious ban like some of the maps that we've had in the past that were frequent picks to be banned in Best of 3 and Best of 5 series. I took a long break from StarCraft, so I don't know if I have the authority to say that this is one of the best map pools that we've ever had, but it definitely feels really good to me. All right, Reaper coming in. Gonna see if he can get any picks. Ooh, he does get a drone. And we're gonna see the Reaper hang out to try to get that first creep tumor. Brett's opting for the inject. Oxy Steve says, very Zerg maps, very good. Yes, I do agree. The bigger the map, the better it is for Zerg, typically. Reaper coming in. Looks like it's going to try to get another drone. Doesn't commit. 3 queens out so far, third base. Let's see what we got going on the Terran side. Well, typical. Seems to be typical mech shenanigans. Is this Overlord? What path did this Overlord take? It scouted the natural, now it's like way back over here. What a strange spot for it to be. But I guess, you know, the common thing is to send the Marine out here to scout for that Overlord. So I guess moving it in here to this little pocket of dead space we'll get the scout faster, you know, supposing that nothing walks into these spaces over here. Scout it. So Reaper does able to find a creep tumor somewhere. Getting a read on the main base. Looks like it is going to get out, and this might be the last time it is able to dive in, as Ling speed is finishing up. Narrowly misses getting into the drone there. Awar's being on the ball with that Reaper. But he is going to get the scout off on the totality of Awar's tech here. Scouting the fusion core, completing as well, so he knows exactly what he's up against. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw a few more queens starting as well behind this. We do see the one spore coming down so far. Cattle Bruiser on the way. And yeah, and there's the additional spores coming down too in the main base. Ooh, Yamato Cannon being researched. So I guess we're going to go for a more BC heavy play here in game number 2 on Grezvon. Last game we saw the one battlecruiser, but I don't think we ever saw Yamato researched. Ooh, nice little pickup of drones right there. 4 additional drones go down. All the Hellions get out. Hellions gonna try and clear some creep. Apparently 6 is the magic number that you need to be able to one-shot creep tumors. Or should I say at least 6? I'm really surprised the battlecruiser didn't warp over, but I guess he wants to keep it there as long as possible. I guess he wants to keep it there as long as possible and then, you know, move it back in afterwards. Battlecruiser pushing in. Gonna Yamato down a queen. Already with 4 kills, 5 kills. Getting some value. Spores moving into position. Pushing into the main base now that he saw some queens down at that 3rd or 4th base location. Triangular expansion, should I say. Picks off another queen. Looks like 1 or 2 transfuses left, so I don't think he's going to be able to get much more done. And there are a lot of queens here. 8 queens total. Ooh, second battlecruiser joins the mix. Picks off the fresh queen. Another queen with transfused energy goes down. Huge Ling flood coming across. Infernal Pre-Igniter only just now beginning, but those Lings run headlong into pre-morphed Hellbats. And this is a lot of Hellions. Holy cow. Roaches immediately retreat, and they're going to be picked off by these battlecruisers on the way back. Corruptor's coming out, though, so once again we see Gretz respecting the BCs. I think it might just be the 2, though, because we fully transitioned off of him, it looks like. Mech upgrades coming in. Attack and armor. Or weapons, should I say, and armor. Blue Flame. I don't think we have mag field yet. No mag field. So maybe we're not going Cyclones this game, but I think that's a weird choice. Yeah, I guess we're not. We're just going Hellbat tank. Alright then. Hellions once again pushing in. You can see if they can get something done. So yeah, Ling, Roach, Ravager, Bane, Corruptor out of Gretz. I would like to see him get to Infestation Pit and some of those higher tech units a little bit faster this game, especially if Awers is going to be playing a tank heavy style. Because without Vipers, there's going to become a point where the army composition that Gretz has chosen is just no longer going to be able to engage with Awers' army directly. With the Hellbats at the front and the tanks in the back, it's just going to be nigh on impossible. Awers 156 supply. So typically, I feel like what we see out of Mech Terrans is we get that 2-2 fully maxed out big push. And it's almost like a timing check. Like, did you finish your hive? Do you have hive upgrades ready to go? Because if you don't, you're going to have a really hard time with this. Also, already getting Thors out. Usually, Thors are built kind of as a reaction to Spire play. He already knows the Spire's up. I believe he's seen some of these Corruptors. He had to have. No, maybe not. Baneling speed's still a little ways off. So it's going to be a little dangerous to have these Banes out and about on the map off creep. Oh, especially with the 4 BC hit squad rolling out. Yep, and here's the push. Slow Banes rolling in. Oh, they get nuked down. And yeah, these BCs are just going to cause trouble wherever they go. And yeah, there's not really enough Corruptors. 6 more Corruptors coming out. That's going to bring the grand total up to 13. Even 13 dealing with this seems a little dicey. Yeah, these tanks are sieged up. Hellbats coming in. There's a run by, but there's a planetary, so it's not going to get anything done. The base to the south goes down. Yamato's coming down on these Corruptors. And it's like a weird sort of blink micro here where you can just pull back the weakened battle cruisers. Not pull them back, but like blink them back home if they ever get in trouble. And you never technically have to lose any of them. See, they stood and fought with the Corruptors and Queens. And they were able to win that battle. And here they're going to stand with a couple more Corruptors. See if they can get this hatchery down. Looks like he is going to lose 1. Nope, he gets it out just in the nick of time. So didn't lose a single battlecruiser. Those guys will get repaired and be back in the fight in no time. I'm pretty sure there's a creep tumor here. And the splash damage from the tanks on the creep tumor killed the Thor that was standing on top of it. Counterattack here from Gretz. I don't know that it is going to find the damage that it needs. A lot of this army is out of position, though. But with the battle cruisers, oh no, there's a healthy Corruptor count. So as long as those SCVs stand and repair these, oh, there's way more battle cruisers. Holy cow! And this whole army's just out in the middle of the map. I love the tanks looking at the Roach because they can't fire while they're moving, but they can track while they're moving, like Colossus. So they just look at the enemy as they're retreating. They're just like, ooh, if only we stop for a second, I'm going to shoot you so hard. Roach right in sensor tower range. Look at this. Oh, no, you can actually see it. Hellions just in the gas geysers here of this base. And these tanks, this is what I was saying earlier about needing that hive tech. Looks like we're still only on lair. I don't even know if we have an infestation pit, do we? No, we don't. So hive is a million miles away. These BCs are just going to trash. And this is many overlords too. At this point, he could just kill the overlords and go home, and I feel like it'd be enough value. Oh, that is a lot of corruptors. Is he going to sack these? I guess he is, but I don't know why. Oh, is there tactical? Oh, tactical jumps on cooldown. The only reason I can think to do this is if you want to get off of the BC tech into something different. And that's not a bad idea, seeing how, like, look, this is what? 10 corruptors you have? Yeah, 10 corruptors, and now there's going to be nothing for them to fire at. Thors can shoo them away, and they're great against anything on the ground. And if he's seen the main base lately, which it doesn't look like he has, but, you know, he might know that there is no hive. There's going to be no broodlords, no vipers. So yeah, what does he need battle cruisers for at this point? Those corruptors are going to be dead supply almost. Where's Ward? I don't know. Oh, Ward had to go to a there was a family outing that he was obligated to go to. Not saying he wouldn't have chosen to go, but that he said there was definitely an obligation as well. Corruptor's trying to find some value. Did they end up getting? Yeah, they end up getting a little, but they can't do anything against Thor or the missile turrets. Yeah, so he's trading out the Thors, and there's a lot going on. Hellions over here killing even more drones. 58 drones so far have gone down this game. And we see Gretz at 52. That's an insanely low drone count. Hayward's with a 50 supply lead at this point. 40 supply lead. Sorry. 40 supply lead, 9 worker lead. He's got only 4 bases though. He has extra CCs, but he just hasn't pushed them out anywhere. I know it's difficult to expand his Terran if you want to hold him down, but like you gotta try. So I would like to see him move these out to, like, I'd almost say double expand to maybe this space and this space, those CCs, because at least one of them will go up. Ooh. Biles do find good hits, but this is so many Thors. 8 Thors? Just eating Biles. These Thors just taking Biles straight to the face. It doesn't even matter. They're like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You don't have Hive. I have Tank Thor. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do against us? There's no infestation pit. So you don't even have Swarm Host. Not that that would be the answer. Not that it'd be terrible. But yeah, it's like, it's just the Ravagers are going to slow this push up, but they can never take an engagement. Yeah, they can get this close before they start taking tank shots. And it's just a game of leapfrog. 2 tanks and 3 tanks and a Hellion or 2 here is going to defend against any sort of run by potential. Yeah, the Zerglings aren't even really making it in. This base goes down, and I guess it's just going to be the slow, inevitable death of Gretz here. Little run by just gets nuked down. Friendly fire in the SCVs, but doesn't really matter at this point. Biles raining down. He is finally starting to crack this this force. Oh, look at the drops. The mule drops to save some of these. And they're going to go to town. Look how fast they repair that thing. Well, maybe not right in the midst of battle. But yeah, more Thors coming in. It's one of those things, it's like, it's easy. Once a mech Terran gets maxed out on Thor tank, it's really easy to stay maxed because these units are really beefy. It takes a while to knock them down. And I'm sure, like, production has got to be queued here, right? Alex for the follow. Did not realize that sound would play mid-game. Apologize. Yeah, Brett's still just building Roach Ravager Laying. And yeah, it's just not going to work. None of the tanks are ever going to go down with the front line of Thors. They're just going to leapfrog up, and it's going to be this slow, inevitable death here of Gretz. Still no infestation pit, no tech. You hate to see it, especially like I said it at the beginning of the game. It's like a timer, you know. You got to get to that hive tech. I know it's tough. I know you're trying to build these gas units, the Roach Ravager, to keep the mech Terran at bay just so you can expand, but absolutely cannot neglect those higher tier units if you hope to bust something like this. Gret's holding on for dear life though. I don't see what his win condition here is at this point. More Hellions rolling in. We're gonna have ourselves another drone barbecue here. Finally is able to break this position. Or is he? Okay, I guess not. GG is called. I thought that was enough to get rid of the tanks, but I guess not. Awers winning game 2, sending us to the decider. Let's go. Hopefully next match we'll be able to see Gretz get to those higher tech units, the ones he needs to be able to adequately defend against the mech Terran army of Awers. Game 3 is going to be on Ancient Cistern. Yep, he more or less broke the push, but didn't really matter at that point. He knew it. Yeah, I think the second that he saw that army, and he was only on Roach Ravager, like there was not a whole lot he could do. Like it was, you know, all over but the crying. Hey, real quick, anybody in chat that's watching intently, whenever I load games, my preview gets all choppy. I just want to ask if you guys have been seeing any choppiness on the stream at random points. I think that it is just the OBS transition, but I'd like to know if it is actually a hardware issue, so that way it can be addressed. All right, game number 3 underway. Ancient Cistern. Spawning in the bottom left, the blue Zerg. He is Gretz. And in the upper right, the red Terran player. He is Awers. Yep. I'm going to be digging back through the VODs of this particular cast, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. But it is all, or this VOD is going to be uploaded to the Sniper StarCraft YouTube channel. And then, of course, will be available for however long Twitch keeps VODs on this channel as well. So if you missed a match or you want to go back and catch it, it'll be a good place to do so. I know I will be checking it myself to make sure that we have the exceptional stream quality that we always do here on the stream. So Gretz similarly does not have a Wikipedia page. I feel like a lot of these players that are like the new and up and comers won't. And I honestly wish I knew a little bit more about the markdown language. Mark up, markdown. I don't know which is which. Yeah, markup language. I don't know why I got that confused. Yeah, Wikipedia uses like its own specific markup language, and I would think that I would edit it a lot more if it wasn't so like complex. But it's just a little daunting to have to learn it, so I haven't really ever gotten around to it. But kudos to those people who did learn it and do keep Wikipedia updated. You guys are doing the Lord's work. Reaper coming in here, trying to see what he can get done. Ultimately gets pushed back after getting just one Zergling. Pretty standard stuff. Looks like it's going to be more Hellions out of Awers. That is unsurprising. Well-known mech Terran. Once again, Overlord in that same position. Not going to be as effective with this, the ramp being so far away from this dead space. I don't know if Awers noticed the scouting pattern from last game, but if he did, he could send the Marine over here just to check, because there's not enough space for it to be out of vision here, you know? Reaper does get the tumor and is going to live to tell the tale. mild annoyance for Zerg players. Keeps their creep pushed back for a little bit longer. Lots of queens moving forward, and that is going to be the end of that Reaper just off screen. Yep. Tech Lab on the factory signals to me that it's going to be Battle Mech with Cyclones. No starport yet, so no BCs this time around. Scout coming in. Marine reacts right away, but this Overlord's going to see everything, including the blue flame. Hellions coming in. Going to see if they can get them a barbecue. We'll keep that drone kill count up on the screen. I just realized that if we don't have Game Heart mod loaded, we can just throw that kill count, the drones killed count, worker killed. And it kind of does the same thing. It'll do a running ticker. It takes up a lot of more of the screen than I would like it to, but it is effective. Mag field starting as well. Fast lair at a grow, 5 minutes. Not necessarily fast. Well, it's almost finished at 5 minutes. We'll see what he does with this. I wouldn't mind seeing swarm hosts, especially if you're getting your lair this early. No, just for roach speed. Much more conventional style. But it's like we talked about in game 1 on Neo-Humanity, right? Like, you know your opponent is a mech Terran. The likelihood of him playing any other style is very low. So you can kind of use that to your advantage to have a game plan going in, you know? It's like, well, I know my opponent is likely to do this, and as long as I scout that he's not going BCs or anything crazy, then I'll have the freedom to, you know, hard counter him if I'm able to get a read on what flavor of mech precisely he's doing. Barrack scouting a likely attack path down here to the south, while the mini yet mighty Battle Mech army is going to try and see what it can get done. Roach is in place to push it back. Nice Ling run by here to the third base. Very exposed. Definitely going to be some losses here. Looks like at least a mule and an SCV go down. He's going to pull back some of that run by force so it can keep Awers honest, you know. At the front, Roaches are going to try to jump on this army, but they are still slow. Roaches' speed's a couple seconds off. Those Roaches are off creep. All the mech flavors just taste like metal to me. Mike Stinson chat. Hello, my friend. Little Roach run by force, but looks like everything is at home to defend this, so I don't think it's going to get anything done, and I don't think these Roaches are going to be able to make it home. They are going to stand and try and fight with this to trade out some units, but Awers knows what to do. Just get those lock-ons going and kite back, and I think he lost 1 Hellion total for that. Another Roach run by force. This barracks, scouting barracks, though, is going to see all of them moving on the mini-map. Little creep clearing squad doing a great job. That was a ton of creep tumors. All the creep tumors heading up north are gone now. These speedy Roaches, though, they grab a Cyclone, a Hellion on the retreat. Is he just going for it? Yeah, he's on the attack here. Gonna be killing some SCVs. Give you the bird's eye view here as the fight comes in. I still think the Cyclones are going to win the day, but not before a significant amount of damage is done. The Hellion buffer is completely gone, so these Cyclones are going to have to stand and fight at least a little bit. I feel like he really needs to... Yeah, they're going to be killing the SCVs anyway, so... So far, 13 workers killed, but a lot of Roaches have gone down for those... 38 Roaches for those 13 SCVs. So far, losses heavily in favor of Awers, which is not a surprise given that he's playing in mech style. More roaches running in. They're going to try to get this tank, but I think... Oh, is he not going to repair it? Yikes. There we go. Big attack at the front here. Lock-on's continuing to find value, but a lot of these cyclones are low. One of them does go down, in fact. Yep, looks like we're just going into a pure battle mech style for now. This is the more traditional style of mech that I'm used to seeing. You know, you play battle mech, you stay on your opponent's side of the map, and then once you're max, you start trading out for tanks and bigger, beefier units. But I don't think that Awers has really been taking the fights that he's been needing to take here. He hasn't been as aggressive with the army as he needed to be. And we see swaths of units from Gretz rocking and rolling on 87 drones, heading across the map. Upgrades on the way. Still staying on this tier 2 tech, though. He's got roach speed as his only lair upgrade. No infestation pet. Handles the run by, but not before another drone barbecue. Let's see how many we're at now. 26. Oof. But Gretz just replacing them as fast as they can be burnt to a crisp. 80, 93 drones now. 94. He is going to be able to replenish this army almost indefinitely. He's got 5 bases, a 6th base coming up. Doesn't quite have the Ravager count I'd like to see him with, though. And we do see here that Awers is transitioning into tanks slowly but surely. So the window for this composition to be effective is closing. And Awers has done pretty decent job at defending this. You know, Awers has not been on point with his attack. His attacks have been somewhat disjointed. And when he splits them, it looks like Awers equally splits his in just enough to defend both places. So once again, we see Awers on the attack, and not a lot here for Gretz to defend. And the roaches being move commanded, they all go down. Looks like this base is going to get killed, not canceled. And yeah, Gretz is once again on the back foot here. I thought he had a pretty hefty command of this game, but I guess not. Now we're having roaches chase off creep. A ton of cyclones. Even if these get traded out, it's so much gas. And yeah, they will. He just backed himself into a corner. But not before a lot more of these roaches are going to go down. Was he going to try and skate with 2 of these? I guess. Yeah. Hellion run by at the 3rd base location. Oh my gosh! Okay. That could have been... Well, yeah, I was going to say it could have been worse, but he ended up getting most of them anyway. Up to 42, 43 workers killed. A little counter damage on the other side. Might get some SCVs. But this planetary is going to go down. It's going to make this position much harder to bust later in the game. Those roaches are on hold position. Another attack. Remember I mentioned it being disjointed, you know, coming from the top and the bottom. And the units are just waterfalling into 4 siege tanks, and this is not going to be an effective use of these roaches at all. Once again, this location is trying to be taken by Gretz. Baneling speed started a little late. Yes, it'll be great at attacking the battle mech portion of this army, but, you know, we see the siege tank count ever increasing. Plus 3 armor coming in for these mech units. A Widow Mine? Okay. Roaches get a nice little pick defending this. But I believe all the Cyclones should be able to get away. And the tanks are going to have an easy enough time defending here in the middle back. Yeah, there's just so many things. You cannot push into that with this army. Baneling speed or not. Yeah, I feel like this upgrade, in order to find it much value, had to have been done a long time ago. Oh, but we're committing 14 Banelings. Eight more drones. 9 more drones. Or 7. Sorry, we were at 42 last time. Gretz, though, still at 90 drones, so he's keeping that healthy economy going. And if you're going to trade units, the way Gretz has been trading units, you definitely need a decent 90 drone economy. Oh, Bailing speed starts or finishes at a pivotal moment. Gets decent hits right there at the front. Widowmine gets some friendly fire damage, but there's still Blue Flame Hellions. And yeah, he can just retreat with this army and be perfectly fine. Couple more roaches go down, more scans. And yeah, it was showing just how efficiently a battle mech army can trade out when controlled properly. Let's take a look at these trades. 10,000 difference. Gretz has lost roughly twice as many minerals and gas so far, more than twice as much gas so far this game. So Aors has had incredibly efficient trades. The thing keeping Gretz in this game is the fact that he is currently at almost 100 drones, despite having lost almost 50 over the course of the game. How about Tank and Widowmine moving out? Widowmines are an interesting decision with this, but Drilling Claw's already done. This is a relatively small force, and the Zerglings are able to get on top of a couple of these tanks. It's a beautiful beginning to this engagement here from Gretz, and it looks like he's going to be able to clean this up, but not before losing an additional 11 workers. Another small force of Cyclones down here trying to focus down this base. Can the Zerglings kill the Cyclones before the Cyclones kill the base? Yeah, it looks like they are. So this is a great change of pace here from Gretz. He's able to clean up both pushes without losing a base. He's back up to 89 drones. And it looks like he's ready to be on the offensive. This is just so many Widowmines here. They're not going to get the hits they need, though. Zergling's going to surround a whole bunch of tanks, and this game is starting to look like it's falling apart for Aors. He's lost a lot of these high-value units. He is going to defend the push ultimately, but... Oh, wow. Never mind. He has a army supply lead off the back of that still. And a hefty gas bank. Huge gas bank. Ravagers coming in, spending a little bit of that gas bank. You love to see it. It's going to negate some of that bonus damage from the Cyclones. Also from the tanks as well. And it'll be able to bile some of the siege units. I think for the purposes of biles, we might be able to count Thors as siege units just because they're so slow. Friendly fire Widowmine hits. That is a lot of Ravagers. Well, I mean, I'm sure Gretz looked at his gas bank the same time we did and was like, how can I spend this? I just don't think the Banes are an effective use of gas. We do finally have a Hive coming in. Shout out to Gretz for finally getting with the program, getting those tier 3 units. Because at this point, with his composition, you add in about 4 Vipers and you just start yanking Cyclones, Thors, and tanks out of this army. And you can kind of pick apart Aors. The same way that Aors picked apart Gretz in the last game, where you just kind of leapfrog the tanks. It's the same thing. It's a slog, to be sure. And requires a great deal of patience. Yep, Bile's coming down. I'm not sure that this is a favorable trade for Gretz. But he is able to clean up some of this army. Hive is finished now. So we can see the Vipers coming out. But he got a Spire at the same time. So it might just be waiting that, or it might just be that he's waiting for Broodlords, but I don't think the Broodlords are enough. You absolutely need the Vipers to handle this. Adrenal coming in. Looks like he's still wanting to be building Lingbane off the back of this as well. Banes coming in. Even Speed Banes off creep. I don't think they're getting anywhere near this army. Like, maybe you can catch the Hellion Cyclone with it mid-map, but you're not getting anywhere near Thor Tank Widowmine with Banelings. Spire finishing up. Keep a close eye on that. Yes, this is where the Banelings can find some damage. Oh, and they do. Stray Banelings on the retreat end up finding a couple of connections. +3 melee attack and 26 Zerglings, so definitely going to keep it Zergling heavy. I don't think you get this, buddy. Never mind. The Biles and the SCVs were good. He commits. But he's going to lose a large portion of his army for this. Biles catch a tank or two. But yeah, this is a lot of Ravagers peeled off of Gretz's army. 8 tanks here from Awers. If he wanted to push the issue right now, I wouldn't hate him. Yeah, here we go. Like, that was a lot of your Ravager, a lot of your Banelings gone all of a sudden. So let's see what you got. I believe the answer is going to be not much. But we'll see. He didn't bring all the tanks with him. 3 Thors, 1 tank. So those tanks are probably back here defending if I had to guess. There's 1 here. This base is almost certainly forfeit. Nice little surround on this. Definitely going to pick all of these off. You don't want to lose 3 Thors in this position. Not great, but Awers still has an army supply advantage if he's at, even if he's at a huge worker deficit. Usually mules can more than make up for that. This Widow Mine. I wonder how many kills it has. 8 kills. 4 kills. Okay, not bad. Now the drone barbecue coming in. 70 drones have gone down so far this match. Bit of an issue here with Awers mining though. We're still going with the drones. 85 total. 86. Well done. Awers no longer mining from his main base. His natural only has 4 patches. This is going to be the freshest mining base, but as you can see with the 14 here, one of those patches is already gone. This is going to be the fresh mining base. So essentially he's got like barely a 2 base economy right now. 2.5. So if he doesn't start expanding or maxing out, which I don't think he has the economy to be able to max out at this point, I don't know if I see a win condition for Awers. He's just going to continue to fall more and more behind in this match. And we have Gretz on Hive Tech, so he has at least access to the units that he would need. He at least has access to the tools that he's going to need to win the game should there be a big maxed output. We even have a base right here not mining. I realize that it's just an extra orbital for the mule capability, but still. He definitely needs to be mining from more locations and be on a greater than 48 SCV economy. Even with mech, even with extra orbital commands dropping mules, I still think that you're going to need a handful more SCVs than that. Tanks exposed on the front line. They're going to rip and tear through this Roach Ravager army, but he's going to push on forward. You know, I was just talking trash about Awers' economy, but he just took the engagement that he definitely needed. He has a 50 army supply lead. And I think we're going to see Awers on the aggression. Yeah, the tanks are unsieged and they are moving out. Like, you just threw a whole big chunk of your army. Let's see what you got. I think the name of the game here is going to be the Widow Mines and the Hellbats, though, because there is a lot of Zerglings with this army. And they're going to need to be cleared out so the tanks can survive. Because if these Lings get on the tanks, it's going to be a bad news. He is trying to set up for a multi-prong, but I just don't think there's enough. They do come in from all sorts of angles. The Lings get on the tanks. It looks like the tanks are going to be cleared up. But is he going to have enough to deal with the rest of the army? It's going to be close. Yeah, only Cyclones left. Naked and exposed. Awers does get the base, though, and he's still ahead on army supply behind all this. Now, some of this army supply might be, you know, slow or back at home. Yeah, it is streaming across the map, though. And I think that he's just got the momentum that he needs now to close it out. You know, the Hellbats in the front, dealing with any Zerglings. And yeah, we see just Zergling Roach coming out of Gretz. Little 3 Hellion hit squad looks like it's going to be going into the natural, while the main army comes down here for a more fresh mining base. Clearing creep on the way in. Decides to go for the more exposed base over here in the corner. Hellbats at the natural, killing larva of all things too. So that's going to be even less Zerglings here at a time when that's really all Gretz can seem to afford right now. Gretz is broke. Almost no gas. He's spending the minerals as fast as they can come in. He's down to 55 drone economy. Worker killed count is now at 133. I think Awers might have done it. He did finally get this base up and mining, which is great. It's not mining gas, but he's got a huge gas bank. You know, the battle mech army not really as gas hungry as other compositions, and it seems to be what he goes back to time and time again, just the tried, tested, and true Hellion Cyclone. It is an army designed to deal with low-tech armies of Zerg, and it seems like that's what Gretz wants to stick on, this Roachling Bane army. Ooh, these Baneling Connects are going to be okay, but is it enough, though? Hellions are going to go down. Cyclones are going to escape. There's another Hellbat attack over here. Drones hiding scared in the corner, but I believe the space is going to go down regardless. Gretz really does not have the units to spare to go deal with this. But nor can he afford to lose mining bases either, but he's just way ahead of the supply. 50 supply ahead. Gretz waterfalling units in once again to this mech army. He gets the base, kills the spine. Drones are going to be barbecued, roasted. Yep, GG, well played. Long best of 3 going to the decider, but ultimately Awers is able to take it. Wow. That was a slog of a series, as mech games typically are. But a fun one nonetheless. I definitely feel like Gretz was in command of that game for a long time. But we just never did see him be able to close it out. Never to get to those the true tier 3 abilities and units that he has access to. We never saw a Greater Spire or Broodlords. We never saw Vipers. We never even saw Swarm Hosts. He just wanted to get the, I guess it was for Adrenal and the 3/3 upgrades, but even those weren't enough to take out Awers. So that is going to see Awers advancing in that lower bracket, and that means we are going to be saying goodbye to Gretz. So that is going to be the first elimination of the day. We are going to be moving down into that bottom matchup. Sunset versus Big Yan. Another Terran versus Zerg. When we come back. We do have a couple more series left to go in the Ukrainian Cup to date. Did I just... Hold up. How has this always been wrong? There we go. We do have a couple more series coming up. As always, we're going to go to a quick break. Just 2 minutes of ads, and the purpose of it is to make sure that new people coming into the stream don't get pre-roll ads and they can get right into the action. But when we come back, Sunset versus Big Yan, TVZ, still plenty more of the Ukrainian Cup left to go. Stick around. All right, we are back with more of the Ukrainian Cup, brought to you by Sniper Starcraft League and also Hot Headed Gaming. Big shout out to Hot Headed Gaming, as always, dropping a huge $500 on the prize pool for this event. And if you would like to drop some love on the prize pool as well, exclamation mark Matcherino in the chat can do that for you. Of course, you can donate some of your own cash, but there are several different, very easy ways that you can add to the prize pool without spending a dime. Just a couple clicks and you can add to the prize pool for these players. Taking a look at the bracket, we are getting into another TVZ. It is going to be Sunset versus Big Yawn all the way at the bottom. So these are two players that I don't think I've ever casted or heard of before. They are completely and totally brand new to me. First game is going to be on Ancient Cistern. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a huge fan of TVZ. It is my favorite matchup. I'm a little biased because I'm a Zerg player, but Terran Bio versus Lingbane is just, it's fast-paced, it's exciting, it's skill-based. There's a million different ways it can go. Love to watch it. But again, we don't know. I don't know how either of these players play. They're both going to be a wild card to me. And I mentioned this to some of the guys in chat earlier. And they reported the same. They're like, a lot of these people, you know, this is the first edition of the Ukrainian Cup. So a lot of these players are a wild card even for, you know, even for people watching. So we'll see how it goes. Spawning in the bottom left, the purple Terran player. He is Big Yawn. Yan? Yawn. I'm going to go with Yawn. Mr. Yawn, if you're in the audience, you can give me the phonetic pronunciation. I'll correct it immediately. In the upper right, the blue Zerg player, he is Sunset. So we see these we've seen this clan tag earlier. This thing looks like a little halberd. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but it's UA team. So I'm trying to find some more information on what UA is. Roachborn already on the way here. Definitely going to be some early aggression out of Sunset. Obviously, Sunset scouted something that made him say he wanted to play a little bit safe. He's got his base up on the high ground. We'll see how it goes. It's definitely going to be a wonky game for sure. We'll see how it goes. Factory coming down. Reen's going to be reactored out. He's training a Reaper as well. Is this his first one? Yeah. Oh, okay then. Opening Zerglings find another SCV to go munch on. Big Yawn knows something's up, but he doesn't know. He hasn't technically seen the Roachworm, but it's going to be on the way. I wouldn't be surprised if we see these morph into Ravagers. Use the Overlord to get high ground vision up here, and you bile away at some of the buildings up here, knowing that your opponent's not going to have a whole lot to shove it away. Losing this Overlord, though, is going to take a lot of the wind out of the sails of this push if he does. It's going to be close. Does he chase it, though? No, I don't think he does. But usually for this sort of push, you do have more than one Overlord up here. So just in case one goes down, you can still maintain that high ground vision. But that one I don't think is going to be able to provide that service here on this push. So far, he hasn't seen this coming across, though. The Reaper is just now coming across, going to see Queen. Oh, he scans, sees the Roach Warren. Burns that scan so he knows what's going on. Oh, if that landing is denied, it's denied, and these Roaches and Ravagers are in the base. Bile's coming down on that bunker. All of the SCVs get pulled. The landing does go down, but there's no units in production. Oh, there is a Banshee. Banshee just started, but there's going to be a lot of damage coming down on this. I'd like to see the Biles. Yeah, the Biles in the back. Going to catch some SCVs. Going to pull them away long enough to get this depot down. And there's going to be a lot of SCV damage at this point. Bunker goes down. I'm unsure why he doesn't want to just commit up this ramp. You know, you got in. Even if all you're killing is SCVs, this is so many SCVs going down right at the beginning of the game. Sunset has been droning behind this. He's up to 42 workers now. He's killing every single thing coming out of here. SCVs going down. Is there any mining? No, there's 2 SCVs. So there's going to be a Banshee out that's going to push this away ultimately, but there's going to be no economy left. And I think that this is just going to be the end of game 1 here. One Banshee is not going to seal the deal. All right, well, when the dust settles, we have 42 drones to 8 SCVs. Little dedicated pressure here from Sunset right at the beginning, but he's been laying on the drone key real hard, real heavy. And yeah, starting link speed, layer coming, and I guess you can just play a macro game from here. Like, what is really the scare? Cloaked Banshees? But you got a Spore coming down in your main and your natural. I'm sure you'll have one in your third soon. But even if the Banshee comes across now, you'll have layer soon enough. Meanwhile, across the way, we have a tank and a Marine being built. So I guess we have foregone the idea that we are going to have an economy here for Big Yon. And yeah, we'll see how she goes. Overseer comes in just to see what's going on. Sunset's like, yeah, I think I can afford to sack this thing. Sees the size of the army, and I wouldn't be surprised if from this point Big Yon just made units. He's still building drones. Safest possible thing you can do right now. But at some point, you have to know your opponent isn't even mining on his natural base. Like, the only thing he could be doing is building units to come attack me. And he is, barely. Armory! Bold move on such a low economy. Ironically enough, though, Sunset's army supply is only 10 ahead right now. So if he doesn't start hitting the unit button ASAP, he might be in trouble. How many queens do we have? 7 queens. That should be enough to shoo away the Banshees. Assuming that they don't get killed by other things. There's no way this push doesn't get crushed, right? 52 army supply. Lots of upgrades coming down, but I don't think that those are going to matter. Yeah, GG is called. The Biles go down on the tank, and that's it for that. Sunset is going to take game number 1 in pretty convincing fashion. That opening cheese got a little bit too much done, and it felt like Jan scouted it too, and then just did not prepare appropriately. You know, like the Banshee wasn't started till way later. He couldn't decide what production structure he wanted at the front, and then ultimately landing on that add-on was denied. So there wasn't much he can do here. Hopefully he's a little bit more prepared here in game 2. It's going to be on Grezvon. We're going to see if Big Yon can turn it around in a big way. If you guys are enjoying the cast, as always, please consider dropping the channel a follow. Hoping to cast the remainder of the Ukrainian Cup right here on this channel. So if you're enjoying it, you want to follow the storylines of the Ukrainian up-and-comers like I do, this is going to be the place to do it. Also consider following me on Twitter for live updates about the stream, this tournament, and more at XJustXJordanX on Twitter. And then also the Sniper StarCraft League, who is putting on this fine tournament at S_StarCraft. Spawning in the upper left, the purple Terran, he is Big Yon. And in the bottom right, the blue Zerg, he's Sunset. Now, doesn't look like anybody's doing... Oh, he went pool first. So we'll have to keep an eye on what Sunset's doing. It might be the same cheese again. Hopefully Big Yon can handle that. But just to illustrate how easy it is to donate money to this prize pool, I clicked over to the Match Arena link while the game is going on. It says I can follow... Oh, the link did not work. It says I can subscribe. None of these are working. What the heck? Match Arena is having some problems. Well, we'll have to get back to Match Arena. But logging on, you can look on the right-hand side if you link any of your socials to all the ways. Looks like you can follow Power A's Twitter, 50 cents to the prize pool. Subscribe to their YouTube for 50 cents to the prize pool. Same thing for Lucid Sound. Follow their Twitter or visit their link for 20 cents a piece. Or if you're feeling very generous, you can download the Text Now app. And that adds $3 to the prize pool. That's insane. And there's some Twitter follows that add some pennies here and there. But there's a bunch of different things that you can do if you have some free time. It'd be a great thing to do during the break. In between series, pop on over to the Match Arena, click around a little bit for those 2 minutes, and add some to the prize pool. And every little bit really does add up. Early lane aggression is going to be met with these 2 Marines. I don't even think they're going to get the SCV. Yeah, the SCV is going to go back and fight. And, these early lanes not really going to be able to get done what they want them to get done. Maybe they get a Marine, maybe they don't. They don't. So yeah. Well held by Big Yon. He's even going to be really aggressive going after the Overlord and the Pervy spot here on the high ground. Drops the barracks in the wall with the add-ons exposed. Big Yon is on another level right now. We'll have to keep a close eye on what he's got in store. Reactor Hellions out so far from him. And from here, Sunset supply blocked after losing that Overlord. But other than that, doesn't look to be up to any funny business. Has some definitely offbeat openers, but then it seems like he likes to go into, strictly macro games after that. We'll have to see how he fares after his cheese doesn't really get much done. And he hits a pretty big supply block right after it gets defended. Fusion core going down. And the scout is being defended against us too, so he's not going to know. This could be what Big Yon needs to really get into this game here. Sunset had a commanding lead over game number 1 for the entire time. But an unscouted battlecruiser, that could really make waves here. We don't have any Overlord speed. Roach Warren and extra queens coming down. So the extra queens might be enough. He is going to go ahead and stack the Overlord. If this other Marine comes down and helps, its rally path is just out of the way. He might make it to see the fusion core. No, he ends up not seeing it. Yeah, so he doesn't see the starport or the fusion core, so he's still going to be a little bit in the dark despite sacking that overlord. Layer on the way, but it's not going to be a spire or anything helpful to bat away that battlecruiser aside from queen. Italian's going to run in, see if they can get anything done. Try to take out some creep tumors. The queens are right here, though. Looks like we are going into a Met game from Big Yawn. Got some more factories on the way. Barracks is just being a part of the wall. Guess that explains why he hasn't landed there. High ground and third base blocking it as well. Battlecruiser is making his way in. 2 kills so far. We'll keep a close eye. 4 kills. Focusing down those workers. There was a change a couple weeks ago. Weeks? Months? It's been months now. Where you now have to target fire the workers because the battlecruiser will prioritize the spore if one is there. Honestly, a welcome change. It didn't make sense that the battlecruiser without focus fire would target workers over spores. Gets an overlord for its trouble, and that's 9 kills in this battlecruiser, and it gets out with its life. And oh, it tactical jumped in. That's why it left early. So tactical jump is on cooldown for that guy. Spire coming up though. Sunset showing that he is going to respect the battle cruisers, but it looks like that was going to be the only one. Meanwhile, I always see Big Yawn going for more turtleneck style, starting early with siege tanks and just Hellions. No cyclones here. Double armory, so yeah, it's going to be a turtleneck style out of Big Yawn. We're going to see him going straight for those more expensive tanks, even as he is just getting his third base economy up and going. You know, we have no vision of the natural, so all we know is that it's a battlecruiser on the other side of the map. No indication that it's going to be mech. He's getting melee upgrades, flyer, attack upgrades as well. Sniper in chat says, time to grab the popcorn for turtleneck. Man, you might as well go cook a 3-course meal. These turtleneck games take some time to complete. So this overseer is going to see the hellbats already morphed. Yeah, the factory. So this is a good scout. He's going to know exactly what he's up against. We'll see if this build adjusts any to deal with this. 6 corruptors, though. That's a pretty hefty commitment for only seeing the 1 battlecruiser. I do like the decision to go immediately for an infestation pit. Instantly unlock swarm hosts if you want them. But at the very least, starts you on your way to hive, as it's something you're definitely going to need. Fight mech. And yeah, he's just going straight for turtle mech. We got Thors in production. We have tanks. Upgrades. Yeah. And a healthy worker count too. So as long as he doesn't get bothered for the next minute or two, it's going to be really difficult for Sunset to break this. Battlecruiser repaired, ready to head back into the fray. Gonna get a queen. Maybe clear some creep tumors here. Ooh, doesn't get the queen. And these corruptors are on point. He just, yeah, need to go ahead and retreat that immediately. But there are Hellions available to clear creep. I would have liked to see him be a little bit more active. I feel like there's not you don't have a lot to do as a mech Terran, or as a turtle Terran in the beginning. So you can definitely afford to use your Hellions to be active out on the map, at the very least to clear creep. Because look how far up this creep is spread. You know, the south needs some love too, but like this is huge. Oh, he's pushing out already. But yeah, he's 173 supply. He's got 1-1 finished. He could really catch Sunset off guard here. What does Sunset have? He's morphing in Ravagers. Let's get a read on this army. Running in with Roaches. I don't think that these Roaches are going to fare very well. Tanks start shelling away. Yeah, they're just going to move down and take this fresh base and work their way up. The battlecruiser is here. Honestly, the battlecruiser can just get out of here. Nope. He ends up losing it. Biles. Thor's just standing and fighting in the Biles. You know, normally that's something that you have to suffer through when your Thor count is super high, but with just 3 or 4 Thors, I feel like you can really benefit from actually splitting them in this instance. They are big, bulky, slow units, but it doesn't necessarily have to go that way. Reinforcements being picked off. Queen standing and fighting it here at the front. It looks like he's going to try to wrap around and get these tanks. A couple biles going to go off. They look good. And yeah, this whole mech army is surrounded. I think this is going to be the best possible engagement here for Sunset. And he is going to end up cleaning all this up. He lost the mining base, which is unfortunate. But like, these trades aren't even that terrible. Yeah, the resources lost, you know, still pretty in favor in the mineral department for our Terran player. But the Terran player's lost more gas at this point. And now Sunset's free to be on the aggressive if he wants to. He's got the Corruptor still, so the battle cruisers are not going to be a problem if it gets rebuilt. And Blue Flame is only about to finish. So there's going to be a moment until it finishes where this force is going to be able to find some purchase. The tanks on the high ground, some of them are getting biled down. Resetting the tank count here would be huge, but it's going to require some focus fire. I don't think he's going to get this last Thor. Oh, he does. Yeah, that is a lot of very high value units taken down. And the Corruptor's trying to pressure the base a little bit. There's no Thors either. So they can just use that caustic spray ability if they need to. I'm going to guess it was off cooldown. Yeah, it's on cooldown for them. So they're going to have to get out of there for now. At least one Thor on the way. On the retreat, though, they do scout the space up here to the north. What do planetaries look like? So this is like the old school Brood War skin for the command centers, right? So I'm wondering, what is this, a planetary? I want to know what a planetary fortress looks like with this old skin. I'm sure I've seen it before. I just never paid attention. We'll have to pop back in a second. Viper's out. See, this is where this is where Sunset is capitalizing, where I feel like Gretz was unable to in his games versus Awards. Those Vipers are going to be able to pull these tanks into the army. You just take a little engagement. Oh, going for the Blinding Cloud. Yoink on that tank, yoink on this one. Great use of Vipers here. They just need to get out of dodge now. Yep, and they're retreating. And once again, this tank count is going to be reset here. Planetary is finished, though. What a goofy looking building. But yeah, at this point, with the repair on the planetary, there's no need to fight in that. Half the army here isn't hotkeyed either. He's not fighting with the full force, but continuing to reset that tank count and not let Big Yon get to critical mass, that is like the best possible thing. Once again, we see Sunset maxed out. Let's keep an eye on those Vipers. Are they back consuming? Yeah, they're back consuming, so they'll be back in the fight here in a minute. And yeah, Sunset doing a fine job handling a mech Terran. This base to the south, though, is a little unfortunate that he doesn't see this going down. I feel like if he had done a split push there, that would have been better. But it looks like he's like, well, that's a tough position to break. Maybe I'll go back down here. Maybe it's a split push. I don't know. What do we have coming down? Hive done. Viper's done. Adrenal. 3/3 upgrades coming down. Servos from Big Yon. I'm not sure if he can afford that right now, being that he's not maxed out. And it's not really a particularly consequential upgrade, given the style he's fighting it. Oh, these roaches just annihilating these Hellbats at the front. And now we're just down to tank Thor. Blinding Cloud on some of these tanks. I believe... Oh, look at the tank line back here, though. I don't think he's going to be able to break the natural. Yeah, he's going to back up. Definitely get these Hellions, though. And any units... Mech armies take so long to build. Even killing Hellions is eating up a lot of time spent on those factories. So not only is Big Yon going to be at an income restriction until he smacks, but that production time on his production facilities as well. Is retreating, though, building 2 more Vipers. Did he lose the other ones? He lost one of them. So we're up to 5 Vipers now. Yamato coming down. I guess we're going to move back into Battlecruiser production. But, like, there's already Corruptors out. That tech is already available. I'm not sure how good Battlecruisers can compare against the army. Like, he's struggling against the Roach Rav, but the second that you show that you're going back into Battlecruisers, you're just going to have the Corruptors back on you. Lots of scans going down. I'm assuming he's trying to find the army. Yeah, he's trying to get a beat on the army. It is still largely Roach Ravager lane. No Banelings. I don't think there's a Baneling nest. No, there's a Baneling nest, but there's no Baneling speed, so I don't think we're going to be seeing that. That might have been... I think that was a holdover from when before he scouted it was mech, he dropped that Baneling nest, and he just let it complete. Wish the changelings would change in the first unit they see. The only problem with that is you could have a changeling become a battle cruiser, and that would be problematic. Oh, big engagement coming in. Yoinks immediately on some of these high value targets. Everything getting pulled into the fray, allowing the backline to get in on the fun. Lots of Thors and tanks go down here, and the remainder of these tanks are way over by the natural, out of position. Blinding Cloud and some more yoinks on these tanks, and I think some more of them are going to go down. Yeah. I don't think there's anything left. No, nothing left in the natural, though the remaining army here from Sunset is small. There's precious little here to defend it, and he's going to take down an upgrade. Not a bad pickup here, but the battle cruiser counterattack is going to deal with these... So this was the plan, to hide the battle cruisers until the pivotal moment, and then take them out to get some free damage done on these ground units. So now all these roaches, they're either going to have to head home and take heavy losses for it, or just stand and fight and see what they can get done, which is going to be not much. So, ooh, where did this guy get off to? That base got evacuated so fast. Vipers are not what you want to be hanging out near battle cruisers. More Ling Roach streaming across the map, but again, more disjointed attacks. Units just coming in whenever they please, and against the mech army, that's never what you want. You need to hit with full force or not at all. These battle cruisers more back to help deal with this, and it looks like only Hellions going down, a lot of the gas units without Viper help. Being down. This battlecruiser 9 kills before it finally dies. This one over here deleting a bunch more drones as well. 33 drones killed total so far. He keeps bringing these Vipers so close. Yamato is available too, so he could Yamato these Vipers. These are going to be real decent picks for these battlecruisers. Very expensive unit. And they take a long time to come into full power in the game. Because not only do you spend the money on them, then you have to wait for the build time, and then they have to consume before they really realize their full potential. So taking these high energy Vipers out of the equation here is going to be a huge boon. Massive caustic spray. As long as they stick here for another couple seconds, we'll see the damage kick in, but ultimately the battle cruisers come in, and a lot of them, I think their tactical jump was off cooldown. Well, they're taking some decent damage. It's only the one Thor though. I think he only lost the one corruptor there, so he's going to maintain those. But a huge force up here, killing the third base. So much going on, hard to keep track of. Vipers once again dropping blinding clouds on this army, making the backline ineffective. There's just not enough roaches there to support. There is a battlecruiser up here with 8 kills so far, killing even more workers. And it is one heck of a back and forth. Big Yawn, though. Massive army. Big Yawn is a massive army. 4 Vipers. What is the energy count? They could... One of them is full. 2 of them are close. I think this is the fight that it's going to come down to. These Ravagers need to finish. Blinding Clouds looking good. Oh, there's so many in that backline. If he can get a Blinding Cloud on these tanks... There goes one. One more Blinding Cloud will do it. And there it goes. He's going to get these tanks for free. They are completely disabled and out of the fight. But he's not capitalizing on it. He's dealing with all the lower units. Once the Blinding Clouds end, it's going to be tough. He is able to reset it, though. Gets most of the Corruptors out. And now it's just... Looks like to be pure Thor. Thors aren't going to get their bonus damage versus Ravagers, but he does have 4 of them just that survive. I'm just worried the Big Yawn has the economy to be able to... replenish this. He has 2 bases. That one has some patches missing. So not even a full 2 base economy at this point to replenish this army. And once again, we see Sunset on the attack. He's got 79 workers. I believe the Vipers survived. No, one survived. He's rebuilding 3 of them. So he's not going to have Vipers for this fight, but there's only the 1 siege tank. Corruptors now looking for something to do in the absence of battlecruisers. Trying to take down this planetary once again. SCVs abandon it. We're going to see an engagement. This might be the last one. Maybe not. Ooh. The Thors just absolutely annihilating the everything in the air. Yeah, fighting a mech Terran, army control is pivotal. You're not really going to be able to F2 this thing, or you're going to end up losing a lot of units, a lot more than you need to. Like we saw you see all the corruptors very, very badly bruised due to that Thor fire. Fresh mining base being taken, but it is an orbital, so we're not going to have the defensive capability of the planetary fortress here. That is a heavy, heavy Thor count. Thors are great, but they're really expensive, and I definitely think there needs to be more tanks with this army. We're just building more Thors, okay. We'll see though. Sunset with a 50 supply lead. 32 of that is in workers alone, so he's going to be able to afford to trade a lot better than Big Jan is. I'm curious to how he's going to break this, though. Like, I guess his current plan without Broodlords or Swarmhost or anything to trade out, or without anything to take these effective trades, is going to be to just use his superior economy and map control. He does have his whole half of the map. All the bases taken, creeped out. So I guess he's just like, yeah, I can just afford the trades, and he can. So max out, trade the army, do it again. Max out, trade the army, do it again. And these are the only 2 tanks here, it looks like. Nope, 3, but that one is retreating. So much Roach Ravager. Where are the Vipers, though? There's 3 Vipers somewhere. But this is what you want. Yeah, just yoink a Thor here, kill it. Yoink another Thor, kill it. Rinse and repeat. Times a million. And you're good. You can even hang out on the low ground here and yoink them to the low ground. Yeah, pathogen gland's done. Neural on the way. And Sunset with 80 drones and his whole half of the map taken. I guess he's just going to wait, remax, and do it again. Rinse and repeat. Well, here it is. We're maxed out again. South base taken from Big Jan. Looks like he's trying to get back into this game, but he's at a 60 supply deficit. It's going to be a really tough moving forward. Vipers, a little bit of miscontrol. They go down. And the Zerg is all really nicely, tightly packed. There's 2 tanks here as well, so it's going to be a tough cookie to crack, or tough nut to crack here. But immediately maxed out again. 19 swarm hosts. Hotly debated topic whether or not swarm hosts are the proper way to deal with this army, but I think Sunset's got a good read. He's like, you haven't made Hellions in a long time. That's the only thing that swarm hosts are particularly afraid of. And your tank Thor army is very, very, very slow. So this first volley of Locusts from 19 swarm hosts, I imagine, is going to get a lot of work done. Oh, Thor, the tank count is getting a little scary, though. And I don't think he remade those Vipers. Then we switch completely away from Vipers. But here it goes. Does he see him? Oh, he sees him now. Not the best volley. They are going to force a lift and an evacuation on this base over here, which is nice. But now he's going to be on the back foot. These cooldown is only halfway done. So he's got another couple, or Jan has a couple more seconds that he can push forward until the Locust Waves are ready to go once again. It looks like he's going to lose a couple on the retreat too. A little bit of missed micro. He's going to lose a couple more. And they're being chased down in a big way, but the natural base is under siege. You know, it's not a bad idea to switch this off and just get on top of the Terran production. If they can't produce anything, then nothing else matters, you know? Locust's going to fight against Blue Flame Hellbats, the one thing that can really put a damper on your plans if you're using Hellbats. I mean, if you're using Swarm Host. But yeah, I think the play here for Sunset is to split off just enough of these to camp the production here of our Terran player. And then slowly but surely take the fight back home. Like, you're going to lose bases. You are, because you're going to have to attack with your Locust Waves. But eventually you'll crush this army, and unless they go home, they're not going to be able to regain control of their main base, of their production. Looks like he is going for the mining bases, though. Also a choice that can be made. Looks like he is eventually going to get the planetary, but not before taking losses. Once again, sending Locust Waves. Oh, if he can get on the tanks, this could be huge. Looks like a lot of these aren't even going to land, though. One tank goes down, 2 tanks. Maybe a Thor, 1 Thor. And now he's going to have to evacuate with these. Hopefully he pulls the drones as well. And yeah, we're down to no mining from Big Jan whatsoever. And this is where you want to be, because at this point you got enough bases. At least this one and that one have some mining going on. So pull everything home and slowly but surely chip away at this army. And you should have a bank. Yeah, Sunset has a 4K bank. So it's never going to be really, truly direct engagements. Yeah, Big Jan is heading home at a moment where he really has to just put the pedal to the metal and hope for good engagements, because Sunset is going to max if he's remaxed if he's not already, which as observers we can see that it clearly is. And yeah, once again we're at a position where I don't see a win condition for Big Jan. Infestors have joined the fray as well. They're a bunch of infestors, and they have the capability to neural. So we'll see how that goes. A base flying from way down south back up here to a much more easily defendable location to mine. Oh, a scan here. Neuraled unsieged tanks, neuraling the Thors. Everything is just turning blue. GG. Sunset wins the game 2-0. And he's going to be moving on. We are going to be saying goodbye to Big Jan, as this was an elimination match in the lower bracket. Wow. Very long, drawn-out turtleneck game. That's going to bring us into our next break. Again, I say it every time. Just for new people, we do run a short little ad break in between each series. It's just to keep the pre-roll ads at bay, so people just joining the stream don't have to sit through them. They can get right into the action. But we do have more StarCraft left to go. I believe we have... let me double check, see what we have coming up. All right, when we come back, it is going to be our last series of the day. It's going to be Hellraiser versus Koss up in that upper bracket. This thing. Hellraiser versus Koss in the upper bracket. It's going to be a Terran versus Protoss. Going to be a great match. 2 players whose names you should recognize by now. And that is going to be coming up right after the break, so stick around. We got more StarCraft left to go here with the Ukrainian Cup. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to the exciting conclusion of today's coverage of the Ukrainian Cup. My name is Just Jordan, and if you're just joining us, we jumped into the middle of the Ukrainian Cup. We were asked by Sniper himself to cover it, so I'm super excited to be jumping into the Ukrainian StarCraft scene. Very vibrant community, I'm finding out. Lots of people signed up for this tournament. And yeah, this tournament is getting pretty deep into the bracket now. We've seen already 2 players get eliminated today, Gretz and Big Yon. We said goodbye to, unfortunately. But we did cast Kos over Jaros earlier in the upper bracket, and then Rostock taking out Damaga, knocking him down to the lower bracket as well. And we're going to be ending the day on our upper bracket semifinal. That is Hellraiser versus Kos in a TVP. Sniper down there saying 30 players signed up for this shindig. So it's been fun so far. Definitely looking forward. Definitely looking forward to the conclusion. I don't know who I would pick to win this thing. I don't know. It's hard to call. I want to say either Hellraiser or Night Phoenix, I believe. But I don't know what form Kos is in. And Rostock is a wild card for me. This is something that I do in the other tournaments that I cast, especially if I start from the beginning. I'm like, all right, let's call a winner now and see how it pans out. Because in the other tournament, the person that I called, the other tournament I'm casting now, that's once a week we cast some games from it. I called somebody to win the tournament who lost their first match and went into the losers bracket and has been fighting their way through. But they won the next 3, so they're still in it. But it wasn't a good sign for him. Like, yeah, I think this guy will win the tournament, and then just immediately loses the first day of casting. So I have the benefit of being able to choose who I project to win it after we're already somewhat into the tournament this time, though. So, all right, we're getting into it. Kos versus Hellraiser. First game is going to be on altitude. Spawning in the bottom left, the yellow Protoss, he is Hellraiser. And in the upper right, the blue Terran representing Team Starcom, he is Kos. Excuse me. So we talked a little bit about Kos. Let's check out what Hellraiser's about. He is a 24-year-old Protoss player. Approximate total winnings just shy of $30,000. I don't know how long he's been playing the game, but his bio in Wikipedia only goes back to Legacy. He definitely has been playing professionally, at least since I started casting many years ago. But much like Hellraiser, well, if he got into it in Legacy, my personal trajectory, I got the Wings of Liberty Collector's Edition at a midnight release because I was a Brood War player. But I didn't... I was a little sheltered as a kid. I didn't know that esports was a thing. I didn't know StarCraft esports was a thing until Legacy had already been out for some years. Like, I asked my brother about what he was watching, and I was like, what YouTube video is this? He's like, this is Twitch. I'm like, what's Twitch? This is like 2014. I had no idea what Twitch was, so I'm really late to the game. Pretty standard stuff here. Stalker coming out for Hellraiser, Reaper heading across the map. I see the middle of the map, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but it's like got like 4-way symmetry here with a little pillar in the middle. 4-way symmetry with a grass and ice tile set just really reminds me of Frost. If you guys remember Frost, the old 4-player map, it was in the pool for a long time, and then it got reintroduced for a long time before we decided as a community that 4-player maps in competitive play are not fun. But yeah, the tile set and the way this map is set up, despite the fact that it is not a 4-player map, really is like reminiscent of Frost to me. Bit of a proxy going on from Kos. It's going to be a starport. I believe it's going to be, yeah. So what happens with the reactor or with the starport here is typically reactor Hellions out. They link up with the medevac right here, and they get into the Protoss main base very, 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 very fast. But in order to hit that timing, you have to have the starport proxied closer to the base because the last unit to build is that medevac. Yep, and that's what we'll see. That medevac will pop, pick up the Hellions, and boost into the main base to get those Hellions in as fast as humanly possible. This is similar to the proxy Stargate we saw earlier this series versus Zerg. I forget the players who did that. But you proxy a Stargate because it throws off that Oracle timing. You know, the Zerg will scout the late warp gate and know that an Oracle's coming. And if they have their timings down, even if they build a Spore Crawler, the Oracle will have an opening where they can get some damage done before those spores finish since it's proxied. Is this a real Phoenix? Yeah, real Phoenix. He's going to capture this coming in. Not necessarily... Ooh, nice pylon block. Going to buy him a lot of time. And these Hellions are not going to make it out, but they might get some decent worker kills. Some lifts on the Hellions to mitigate the damage, but so far 6 probes go down, 8, and the probe kill count is just going to continue to increase as those lifts wear off. 11 probes is going to ultimately be the damage. That is really nice damage for this attack, and Koss is going to take that starport and life light it back home. Hopefully get some more value out of it. Phoenix has catch the medevac mid-map. That seems like a misplay, though. That thing had more than enough time to make it back to the main base of Koss. A needless loss here, to be sure. Let's see what he's got defending his little squad of Marines. I feel like if he had the lifts to do it, he probably could have lifted them. Phoenix get bonus damage versus light targets. Marines are light, so they could have focused them down. As long as you lift them one at a time, like this. So you lift, kill, give it time. Yeah. Guess he wanted to save those for workers, though, which is valid, totally valid. Dare I say, a better idea than the one that I have. Zerg main, terribly sorry. We got a robotics bay coming down from Hellraiser. Gonna either be seeing Colossi or Disruptor. More pickoffs over here. It is going to be Colossus out of the robotics bay. Should be seeing extended thermal lance here soon. Any early aggression out of Terran Bio anyway, is pretty heavily shut down by extended thermal lance Colossi, as long as you don't lose them. A lot of the time that they get F2'd before the fight begins with the rest of the army, and they're far forward, and it takes them a minute to walk back. So during that time, you have to choose, do I want the DPS of the Thermal Lance, or do I want to save this Colossus? And there's a little dance you have to do if it's not properly positioned. And that's what we are seeing is a move out. I believe the Phoenixes are going to see this. Yeah, the Phoenixes are going to see this. Pick off a few units here or there. It looks like they are going to get a Cyclone for their trouble. There are 2 Vikings with it. I do not think Stim is done. Yeah, no Stim. Ooh, losing a Phoenix is never good here. Vikings, though, doing what Vikings do best. I wonder if he's going to decide not to push out. No. Yeah, that being scouted is huge. Because what happens is the bio will push forward to attack. The Phoenix will come back and lift the tanks, which takes all the wind out of the sails of the Terran. And then the Colossus and the Disruptor can dunk on the bio that's unaided by the siege tanks. So. Phoenix is still out active on the map. It looks like we're done with Phoenix production, though. Just 9, 10? Maybe not. 9 Phoenix so far. Thermal Lance finishing up. Hellraiser are playing really safe here. He got a lot of different tech. I just realized that. He got a Colossi, Thermal Lance, a second Robo, and at least 1 Disruptor before his 3rd finished. So he's like, yeah, I want to be very safe against any aggression. But as a result, his economy is a little bit lacking here. Cost leading in workers, leading in army supply. Just playing its own game, you know. Feels like Hellraiser is playing a little scared here in the beginning. I'm sure it also didn't help that he lost 11 probes right at the onset of the game as well. Widowmine goes off of one of those Phoenixes there. This is an interesting position for these things. Like, I get it, because this is typically where a Terran wants to siege up between your natural and your third base, right? So having, wow, a lot of shield batteries right here to help you defend makes perfect sense. I just don't feel like it's something that I see very often. Hellraiser definitely playing a variety of PvT that I don't think that I've seen before. Or it's just following the army with the observer. Like, I'm looking at you. It's just on the edge of the fog war too. There comes the move out. Scout said there's no base there, so he's going to reposition. There's like no gateway units with this. There's like one Stalker, one Adept. Oh my god. That Disruptor shot. Another one coming through. It's a decent hit. Three Cyclones. Three Colossi with extended thermal lance, though, is going to make it really hard for this Bioforce to push in. And after those losses from that Disruptor shot, yeah, I think that Cost is like, maybe this was not the best idea. Yeah, realizes that there was an observer following him, takes care of that. But you know, it's not the end of the line for Cost. Not the best engagement of all time, but he had a fourth base going up behind this. And yeah, he's just going to continue macroing. He's still enjoying a supply lead, worker lead, army lead. Non-stop A move says, go, go, Cost, baby. Got some Cost fans in the chat. Welcome to the stream. I cannot remember the name of this. This has got to be Anion Pulse Crystals, right? The Phoenix range? Or is this the... I don't actually know what upgrade this is. Oof. I haven't seen it in so long. Anion Pulse Crystals, of course. So yeah, looks like we're going full Sky Toss. We got a hefty Phoenix count. Air upgrades coming in. Carriers being built. I like the Viking count from Cost, though. I don't know if this is typical for PvP or if he knows how Hellraiser plays, but this is definitely going to put a damper on his plans if he's able to... The Vikings have the long range needed to tap those carriers in the back. Oh, and they're also going to be great against the Colossus as well. Oh my gosh. This is an absolute massacre. I don't see a whole lot of Protoss units going down. Finally, they charge through and are able to delete the Colossus, but the air unit stands strong. More carriers coming out as well. And these tanks are shelling away at the Nexus, but I believe that they're going to be taken care of before they get a chance to kill it. Magnath10, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. These games are being casted without a delay, so I'm able to interact with chat, which is great. Phoenix is on the attack, though. Reigning Supreme going to delete some more of these air units. The medevac count being reset is huge, absolutely huge. So far, has he even lost that many Phoenix? 3 Phoenix have gone down for the duration of the game. So they have gotten extreme amounts of value here. Cost did stem forward to kill the Colossus, but I don't think the Colossus are all that consequential now. A lot of the techie units for the Terran were reset. Phoenix count, tank count, medevac count completely reset. Hefty amounts of bio here, but there's still disruptors on the ground if I'm not mistaken. Let's take a look at the unit count. No, disruptors were reset as well. So there is no splash for the bio at the moment. But we're at what, 6 carriers now? 2 more in production. 7 carriers now. Cost still ahead. Just taking a new base as well. Phoenix once again on the warpath coming in. Ooh, Widow Mine. Able to get one Phoenix with that. A Marine medevac push would be deadly. It would take quite a few Marines though, and he's still building Liberators and Vikings. I don't think that the Vikings are going to be worth their salt in this engagement. They're not going to be worth the gas that was used to build them because they're going to die so fast with the Phoenix. There's just too many of them. Where's the nuke going down at? There's a nuke down at the south. I don't think it's quite close enough to get most of those probes, but we'll see. Probes do get pulled. It's 2 or 3. And that's the end of it. Little posturing here and there, but as Hellraiser gets closer and closer to being maxed out, you know, I'm a little bit worried about Costa's position. I like the ghosts. They're going to be great at the, you know, the EMP wire. Why? Oh my gosh, what was he doing? Oh, he was trying to kill off SCVs so he could be more maxed out. And he accidentally attacked the base. It's like, oh my gosh, don't you know how fast that bio army will nuke down a base? Good lord. Yes, killing 13 of his own SCVs, freeing up some supply that he no longer needs. Mules will easily cover that gap. Sensor Tower scouts the move out now, but he's well out of position. Yeah, this Protoss army is just going to get into position on this third base. It's like Haas wants to catch them on the retreat. Here come the Interceptors. Is it going to be enough, though? I know that Marines shred through Interceptors like nobody's business. And then the Marauders moving forward to tank some of the shots, too. And it looks like a lot of this Interceptor count has been reset. Yeah, almost all of them. I think he's going to try for a recall. He does. He's going to end up getting, looks like 15 of them? No, 12. Sorry. I don't know when I select how far across this is. So this is 12. Got it. Back up to 13 carriers. Let's see if we're building anything. Nope. Just going straight carriers. We'll keep the unit tab up for now. We do have a nuke available. It looks like this ghost is going to be on his way. To where? There we go. I'm not sure what the Liberators are supposed to do in this fight. Like, maybe their splash will be good against Interceptors? Maybe. Oh my gosh. Oh, barely gets them out of the way. Oh, it's because the observers. He doesn't have observer speed. Mothership coming down. 2 more nukes in production. It's weird to me that Hellraiser's been doing all of this off of 4 bases. Like, I feel like he hasn't expanded in so long. Just now taking this Nexus. Magnus says, what's units lost like? We'll leave this tab up for just a second while there's a lull in battle. For those of you just joining us, this is about what the game has gone on, or about what the game has been like so far. 106 Interceptors lost. So yeah, Marines great at shredding through Interceptors as it turns out. Another nuke, accompanied by the push too. So the nuke is going to be guaranteed going down. It's being the ghost that's dropping it is being defended. Ultimately, not going to find much damage done. Is going to zone it out to cancel the new base though. What is Hellraiser's bank like? 1,600, 1,000, so not the biggest bank of all time. Hellraiser pulling the trigger, or not. Time warp here on this ramp would be huge. There's, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Apparently, you just get to a number of interceptors where it no longer matters. And we just see 70 supply of Kaz's army evaporate. And Hellraiser's on the attack. He's maxed out. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that base retaken behind this. He's definitely going to need to mine from as soon. He doesn't have the bank to replenish this. So unless he starts expanding ASAP, this is going to have to be the death knell here for Kaz. But I don't see it going any other way. Kaz is struggling to replenish his army as fast as he can. I just don't think that he has the production structures to be able to do it. This army is minuscule compared to the Golden Armada that is just pure carrier. His army is 20 carriers and 7 observers. This is all he has. 20 carriers, 7 observers, and 61 probes. That's his entire army. Yeah, here he goes. The Liberator's trying to deal out splash damage on these interceptors, but ultimately it's not enough. They go down. Interceptor count, though, is a little reset. We're down to 20 interceptors now on these carriers, and they know they have to retreat. Another recall. I don't think he's even going to lose a single... Yeah, doesn't lose a single carrier for that. Doesn't look like another nuke dropped here in the midst of battle. Did not put hold fire on that thing, so he knows it's there. Is he going to be able to kill it, though? That's the real question. Where's the observers at? There's only one? No, there's 3. An observer finally joins the fray. Where are these guys at? They're all with the army. Excuse me. Another skirmish here. Is going to see another annihilation of these interceptors. They're still number over 100, though. There's more interceptors than there are Marines. Ghosts are here with seemingly no detection. There's one observer. I don't think it's here. But he calls GG. It's just too much for Kaz to deal with. Hellraiser taking game number 1. I never knew before this game. I do not know on my chat box. Yeah, that was scary. I never knew before this game that pure carrier was not only viable, but effective in PvT. Holy cow. The man had 4 observers, 20 carriers, and probes, and that's what he maxed out on. But hey, it worked. I mean, he didn't get to rush straight to that, mind you. Like, there was some buildup. But man, like, what do you even do? I mean, I guess you just EMP on top of your army and hope to get the interceptors and hope that your stimmed bio deals out more damage than they do. But like, geez, you kill the interceptors and there's still the carriers left. And then as we saw, when they're in trouble, they just get recalled home. That's tough. We'll have to see how Chillmarine, aka Kaz, handles this here in game number 2. It's going to be on Ancient Cistern. Spawning in the upper right, the yellow Protoss. He is Hellraiser. And in the bottom left, the blue Terran. He is Kaz. I haven't casted Hellraiser games in a while, but I think he's known for playing like off meta styles and stuff. I wonder if carriers is just his thing now, you know? At least versus Terran. If I were Hellraiser, I wouldn't change a thing. I mean, that comp seemed to have worked so well. I'm of the personal opinion that the game is pretty balanced, so there's got to be an answer to it. But if game one is any indication, Koss is not really sure what that answer is, and honestly, I don't know that I am either. Reaper being shoved away. Sees virtually nothing. Terran needs fungal and pair bomb, Sniper says. Yeah, I was thinking about that. It was like, I know what the answer would be if I was playing against that, but I don't know what Terran has. Like, the EMP is only so good, right? And then once your opponent is maxed out on pure carrier, the sheer volume of interceptors is insane. Like, he was well over 100 interceptors when he went and attacked. Blink coming down for our Protoss player, Hellraiser. Koss going for a Widowmine here. No proxy here out of Koss. I feel like that got so much damage done the first time. Like, obviously, you can't do the same thing every game. Your opponent's gonna be, better and better prepared for it. But man, like, even after setting the tone for that game super early, getting 11 worker kills right off the rip, still wasn't able to seal the deal. Hellion coming in, getting 3 workers. 4 total. Not a bad pickup. For what, 2 Hellions? No, Hellion Reaper. Even smaller. Adept gets in the main base, gets the scout off. Ultimately doesn't kill anything. But is able to get a read on the tech of Koss and know what's coming. Ooh, double tech lab dropped after the Adept left. So we're going into something completely different. Because when he saw the when the Adept was in here, he saw something building out of the starport. So. Double Widowmine drop gets 2. We just barely missed it off camera. Some blink pressure out of Hellraiser. Looks like he might be trying to snipe an add-on or two based on the fact that there's a prism. He's got blink. Tank's in a good position though. Should be able to get most of this. Oh, just out of range is going to be able to pick off a tech lab at least. Is he going to get the Raven? He's going to commit to it. No, he's not. Blinks out while the blinking's good. Meanwhile, Koss getting his stim. He does have the tank coming down. It did get started before the tech lab was picked off. So he's going to get the 1 tank out of this factory before he has to rebuild that add-on. Currently suffering from a supply block, though. Hellraiser looking to go back and could get the cancel on this, but there is a tank over here in the main base that's going to try and prevent that. A little bit of miss micro. That first volley goes off on the barracks. Gonna get a Viking for a triple 2. Hellraiser losing a couple stalkers here and there during these engagements, but he's picking off some pretty high value targets. He's got the tech lab. He's got a tank. Got the medevac returning home too. I'm guessing that had the Widowmines in it as well. So yeah, some pretty vital picks here from Hellraiser with this little force. In the background, he's got charge and +1 coming down. Ooh, he's double forging it. Are these forges? There they are. +1 weapons, +1 armor coming down. And the third base started at a much more reasonable time here out of Hellraiser. So yeah, now going back into the carrier style, doing something entirely different. We don't even see a Stargate so far. Hellraiser displaying that he has command of a variety of different styles in this matchup. Observer can just barely see the tank. Oh, but there's a Raven. Concussive shells, combat shields coming down. Third base about to complete. In base for Kaz. Currently that Blink Stalker force is a little bit much to push back. I feel like if he wanted to, he could now. I think Hellraiser realizes it too, because he's going to head on home. Small dropout here, going to get scouted by Pylon. They'll probably just get the Pylon and head home. +2 coming down. So the upgrades for Hellraiser this game, just insane. Bypasses the Pylon, trying to get some worker kills. Looks like he might get one. If not careful, could lose. Hot pickup, lose that medevac. Fresh warp in's going to prevent this drop from hitting the main base. If it even gets... Oof. Does get picked off, and we see a move out from Koss, but he has a lower army count than Hellraiser, so I'm not sure how much that's going to do, and I guess neither does Koss, because he's like, maybe not. Yeah, I think we have just the one engineering bay here from Kaz. Yeah, just the one engineering bay. So his +1 armor is on pace to complete just ahead of 2-2 for Hellraiser. So Hellraiser going to benefit from a massive upgrade advantage in this game for some time to come. And it is going to be a largely gateway style out of Hellraiser. So this is going to be ideal conditions for Hellraiser. As long as these Widow Mines don't get insanely good shots here. I mean, he's Kaz has recently seen a bump in his army supply, so we'll see how it goes. No splash out here, but I don't think it's going to matter. Nice surround. Zealots finding tons of surface area. Widow Mines do get some half-decent shots, but still I think this engagement is great. Marines spread out, but that's just going to allow the Zealots to find even more surface area. And this push from Kosk is just utterly crushed. He picks up what he can and gets out. Maybe gets out. The Blink Stalker is in hot pursuit here. Resources lost is going to tell the tale. 1,000 more gas lost for Kosk. 1,300 more minerals at the 10-minute mark. Kosk is getting a fourth base, though. He has that going for him. Fourth base from Hellraiser already up. Worker count's about even. I think that the army from Hellraiser is just going to be much more advanced moving forward. It's got the 2-2. These are 3-3 upgrades coming out now. So, yeah, the upgrade advantage heavily. So this is 3-3 on the way, on par with Koss's +2 infantry weapons. So way behind on upgrades here. Looks like there's going to be some Zealots warped in the main base of Koss here in short order as well. Widow Mines getting sieged in a decent position. There is detection, or there was detection with this army, but the Zealot count is really low. I'm not sure that Hellraiser can take this fight, neither is he. He's going to hang back and buy as much time as he can. We have Thermal Lance and another Colossus coming out. This is going to be a tough engagement to take. The thing he's got going for him most right now is that the Widow Mines are out of position to help this Bio Army. So he should be able to push it back on its own. Yeah, he's going to pick up with what he's got and boost away. Ooh, another medevac gets picked off on the retreat. Thermal Lance is down a second. Colossus joins the fray. First one's only got 3 kills so far. This is another massive push out of Cast. Cast looking to be very aggressive. Fourth base is secure. I'm sure we'll see that become planetary soon. Well, just as the detection gets here, the remaining forces here. Widow Mine's getting great shots. A little friendly fire damage, but a lot of those Zealots get taken out of the equation. I just don't think there's enough bio here to break this, especially not with the Colossus backbone of this army. Neither does he is going to pick up, boost away. Does he focus down the Observer? No Observer here for Hellraiser, and it's not being replaced either, so these things are about to refresh. And if Hellraiser's not careful, you know, he could come up with some trouble. Shadow Stride coming down. Zealots dropped in the natural and being warped into the main base, creating some trouble for Koss. This is a move that it seems to me to be designed to buy time, right? Ooh, got a gravitic drive here. Oh. Ultimately chooses the worst exit route possible, flies over Widow Mine and a missile turret. So the Prism's taken out of the equation, but these there is an Observer coming. Okay, finally he does deal with the Observer and doesn't end up taking extra Widow Mine shots for it. Koss does seem like he has a pretty hefty lead on this game, though. Enjoying a 20 supply lead. I tried to find where the DTs are being warped in, but I don't see them. Are they all... He researched Shadow Stride, but he's warping all the DTs into Archons for now. I guess he just needs some more beefiness with that army. But Shadow Stride could be huge, especially if there's not missile turrets at this base for detection. They could get into this base here, kill quite a few SCVs, and then just pop away. Koss once again looking to be on the aggressive side. This is a lot of DTs. 8 DTs. This is like a hit squad. They can hop on top of this planetary and nuke it down maybe before a scan is even able to save it. And I think that's what we're going to see happen. Or maybe he's going to blink onto the... he's going to go take care of the planetary. So nice defense here. EMP is coming down to get a decent amount of the army. We do see on the west side of the map, DTs did handle that planetary in short order. But the fight of the main base is still undecided. Only one Colossus left. Holding on for dear life with 16 kills. And I think if this is ultimately going to be handled, DT is going to come clear out anything that was remaining. Sovamath, thank you for the follow. Even more DTs. Holy cow, what is this? 13 DTs. The main army of Hellraiser looking a little light, though. Disruptors being added to the mix. We are getting these shield upgrades as well. Ghost Cloak is coming. Do we have a nuke yet? We do not have a nuke. Main army skirmish coming around. I do not think that this base is going to survive. There is enough here to push the DTs away, though. EMP goes down on some of the DTs, but not all of them. Scan's going to pick up the rest. They did not Shadow Strike. Oh my gosh, the DT's damage is so high. They almost hack and slash their way out of that thing, but not quite. It does tip off Hellraiser that this base is being retaken, so he took that as his cue to move out and put some pressure on that location before it becomes a planetary fortress. There are some ghosts here though, and this army from Protoss is tightly packed, so a couple good EMPs could really set Koss up for victory here. And there they go. Disruptor's going to keep him at bay on the retreat. Zealot hit squad coming in. There are some Widow Mines, but they shouldn't be enough to kill those Zealots. We'll keep an eye on them during the main fight. Hellraiser pushed all the way back to his base. Green Beam is activated. Stalkers blink out of the way of these Zealots, but there's just too much Terran here. Workers got pulled off of that base, and the Zealots are making their way into the natural, but this seems like a more pertinent battle to watch. Vikings landed. I think Hellraiser's ultimately going to be able to defend here. Costing so too, so he's going to pick up, and Zealots wreaking havoc, winning the day over here. 19 SCVs go down. We see Cos's economy drop to just 47 SCVs, and now we see Hellraiser on the aggression, trying to pick off some of these medevacs. Gets one. It's always interesting to me how after a huge like technical army fight, how much players of all leagues just tend to go back to a mid-game composition. You know, because we're not seeing any high-tech units, no Colossi are being rebuilt. It's just like Stalker Zealot with some Immortals or Disruptors mixed in. Like Disruptors are a little high-tech, but he built 2 Immortals instead of more Disruptors. What are the upgrades from the Terran looking like? 3-2. So he did eventually kind of catch up. But now we're at 3-3-2 for the Protoss player with +3 shields on the way. Very expensive, very late game upgrade to be getting, but... Oh, this Disruptor shot could have been huge. It is really tough to watch all of this go on at the same time. We'll do our best. Protoss army fighting on what appears to be 3 different fronts, winning at the bottom, losing at the top, and not fighting together at all. Recall here, but some free Disruptor it looks like. Liberator catches the Disruptor slipping. Hellraiser warping in on this top base, looking to pressure this planetary down here. Vikings catch this Prism hanging out. Nice pick from Kaz. One less thing that he's gonna have to worry about on the backstab front. But Hellraiser getting another base down here to the south. Huge skirmish up here. Haas able to push it away. Haas getting to a point where he really needs to take another base. We see his gas bank is just non-existent. And he's spending the minerals as fast as he can get them. I don't think he has an extra CC at all. No, he doesn't. He might have to float that main base down. I do not see where the workers are being killed. I can assume it was a stray Liberator. Little Blink Stalker aggression here. Just picking and poking, seeing when they can get done while they both ramp back up to that maxed out army before they go at it again. Little Marine Marauder drop taken off down to the south. See if they can pressure that fresh base. Another large skirmish. Splits. Ooh, was good for a second versus that Disruptor, but ends up packing a Ghost and a couple other units. And this just does not seem to me to be enough to fight this Protoss army, especially not while it's sitting in Green Beam. Let's check this Colossus. 9 kills so far. And hanging out safe in the back line. Another pickoff and boost away, and if we've seen anything, we know that means that Stalkers are going to get some picks back at home. The drop here, shoot away with some Zealots. And the counterattack down here to the south with the DTs is put in massive amounts of work. A little bit of it's going to blink away. So Hellraiser winning bouts on the front, the north and the south. Koss appearing to me to be on the back foot. We'll see how he's able to handle this. Oh my gosh. Okay, the nuke gets spotted immediately, but could you imagine? Hellraiser once again winning bouts at the top and the bottom of the map. Something got sniped just now. I guess that had to have been a zealot. Yeah, he's sniping zealot. Shot. That force to the south's not doing anything. There are still units down here to defend it, but there's not even a base anywhere. Ghost over here still cloaked, still just being super annoying. 3 kills. This thing's 6 kills before it's finally taken out. Major engagement here. The splits against the disruptors were decent at first. Still looking good. It's not clear to me who's going to win this engagement, but if the disruptors can't find what they need... Oh, the zealot flank is absolutely huge. Ooh, losing the immortals. Losing the disruptors is never good. Huge squad of reinforcements coming from down south. From both sides. And it doesn't look like Cost is going to win on either of these fights. GG is called. Hellraiser taking game number 2. And is going to move on. All right. Best of 5? Is it? It absolutely is. I totally missed out on that. Good frickin' call. Woo, we are not done. Hellraiser's not going to move on. I was wondering about that. I was like, wow, I thought the series is going to be a lot longer. Yeah, my bad. Like I said, it's my first time casting the Ukrainian Cup. It's a brand new thing for me. Let's see here. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. Also appreciate you for the call on the best of 5 for sure. Oh, here it is. Okay, playoffs. Quarterfinals and matches prior best of 3. Semifinals are best of 5. Finals are best of 7. Okay, cool. So that means even more games. Awesome. Yep, game 3 is going to be on Dragon Scales. Yeah, and it had the best of 5 little thing on the observer interface as well. All right, so it looks like those upper bracket semifinals and on are going to be best of 5, and finals are going to be best of 7. So that means Night Phoenix versus Rostock. We don't have those games today. Those will be for another day. Will also be best of 5. Cool, cool, cool. Game 3 is going to be on Dragon Scales. Apparently looks like Koss has been struggling to pull it around. Let's see if he has better luck in Game 3. Spawning the upper left of Dragon Scales, he is the blue Terran for Starcom, Koss. And in the bottom right, the yellow Protoss player, he is Hellraiser. Imagine 3 best of 7 in a row. Well, I mean, I can. Thank you, Sniper, for the update. It looks like Hellraiser was on Dominaticus Esports up until June of last year, and he appears to be teamless now. So if you like him, what you see, and you're a team owner out there, I think Hellraiser might be teamless. I don't know if he's looking or interested, but hey, might be a nice little pickup. Twilight here out of Hellraiser. Likely to be a blink opener, but we'll keep an eye on it. I feel like fast DTs is something that we don't often see in TVP anymore. And I know it's not common, especially at the upper echelons of StarCraft 2 play, for people to vary that widely outside of meta builds. Ooh, Reaper barely escapes. But that's one of those things where it's just like, it can easily end a game, you know? I think it would be interesting to see. It is Blink, so my wishes are not granted this time around, but... Meanwhile, for cost, we have an in-base 3rd CC coming down. Ooh, 3 racks. This ought to be nice. 3 racks openers, of course, very aggressive. The crux of it is that you send a whole bunch of bio across the map really fast. Ooh. Bunkers do not raise. The depth shade finishes, and he's going to get a full scout off. So he's a tech lab researching, but I think just seeing the 2 barracks alone should be enough to tell him everything he needs to know. Yeah, at this point, seeing this volume of Marines, he should know exactly what he's getting himself into. Man, this Adept is making his rounds around Kaz's base. I feel like we need the Benny Hill theme going on. Only getting 2 SCVs. So it's like not huge damage. It's just a mild annoyance for Kaz. He has to chase it around space. Well, I'm sure he'd rather be doing other things, but... Student Man combat shield's coming down. Meanwhile, Hellraiser moving out with these Blink Stalkers. The idea of this is to just delay the push, right? Like, Stalkers have, they have the range with Blink. They have the availability to just pick off Marines here and there. So they're going to get in Costa's face, pick out whatever units they can, and Blink out of trouble. And just buy as much time as they can for this 3 racks push. So, Hellraiser has a decent response to it available. There's no shield batteries at the front. A little questionable to me. Salvage on the bunker and a new one going down. Interesting choice from Hellraiser to meet aggression with aggression. Blink gonna save the day. 4 Marines picked off so far and no Stalkers lost. And yeah, Hellraiser just gonna meet aggression with aggression here. Concussive shells coming down. That should give Chillmarine a little bit, or cost a little bit better chance dealing with these. But now that Stim's started, he's gonna look to Stim on this army. Picks off a Stalker 2 or 3, or in retreat. But once the stim wears off and he has to stim again, every stim is going to be health of this army that he's unable to replace here. We do have a factory completed, but the starport is still a long ways away. As are medevacs to heal up this Terran army. Observer goes to move and it gets spotted as a result and shoot away. What building was that just died? Just an additional bunker, nothing crazy. Yep, just gonna kill a few units here and then blink away. Trading out a Stalker or 2, but ultimately very cost-efficient trades as far as I can tell. Yeah, definitely cost-efficient trades so far. Picking off a ton of Marines and only losing 5 Stalkers. Lost a bit more on the gas front, but it should be a huge deal. Third base coming down for Kaz, and yeah. Hellraiser flexing his map control while he's got it. Much faster blink away this time around. We can see that, and that's a result of the Terran army getting the upgrades it needs and the support it needs to be able to regain some of this map control from Hellraiser here with Blink Stalkers. Prism here with a Zealot counterattack that's going to be in the main. That's one of the features of Dragon Scales, is that it has this big dead space area. Great if you want to build all your production in the main, but terrible if you want to defend against things like Zealots being dropped in there. Main army being pushed away. Mostly there's sufficient defenses for the backstab as well. Koss getting his map control now in the push and pull of this TVP. There's a fourth base coming down from Hellraiser, though. Hellraiser looking to take this economic lead. It's currently trailing by 8 workers. Not a really pivotal thing here, and something that'll be easily remedied with this fourth base. Taking a look at upgrades, it's 1-1 for Protoss versus +1 attack for our Terran player. So once again, we'll see Hellraiser enjoying a pretty decent upgrade lead here in game number 3 of this best of 5. Stimming in though, gets a few pickoffs. Widowmine sets up. Charge is not done. It's got a couple more seconds. There it goes. Kicks in right in the middle of the fight. Immediately Koss picks up. Transfers into the main base. But there's a whole squad of Zealots waiting there. This move was clearly anticipated by Hellraiser, who focuses down the medevacs and picks off the rest of this bio army. Very effective trade for Hellraiser, not losing a negligible amount of his economy for it, and taking an army value lead behind it as well. Prism looking to harass the Natural now that the main base is clearly well defended against drops. Main base coming in, gonna instantly nuke down this bunker. A lot of the Zealots out of position though. They get into the mineral line. I guess they're gonna hold position. Well, for a second they did. Force Field's actually doing Hellraiser a disservice here as they block off most of the surface area for the Zealots. And due to that disjointed fight, it's gonna back off. But there's Zealots in the natural base. All in all, 37 SCVs have gone down. And Hellraiser's worker count is now roughly double that of Koss. Zealots have made their way into the main base at this point and are continuing to wreak havoc. Whole army's having to get pulled, or most of it anyway. The Hellraiser goes back in on the attack here at the third base. 40 SCVs go down, and the SCV kill count continues to increase as Koss is being pulled apart in every direction by Zealots in all bases. Finally, the Zealots are cleared up, and as the dust settles, we see 42 SCVs meeting their untimely demise. Hellraiser enjoying a 30 worker lead, still almost double that with even army supplies, and Hellraiser up an entire mining base, fully saturated. Koss once again finding himself in a position where he's going to be fighting from behind. Ghosts are starting to come into play. I'm not sure if EMP is going to be enough to level this playing field, though. Archon's being morphed in as well to give this army a little more heft. We don't have any other splash options, it appears, for Hellraiser. Hellraiser geared up with another Zealot backstab. We're bringing even more Zealots. Haas is looking to get active out on the map. You got to admire the resilience in it, saying, hey, I got to get out of the map. I got to do something to equalize this game. It looks like he might be able to pick off this base. The army's not far out of position, but he also doesn't have a whole lot of units to siege up here to get set up. It's a lot of zealots. The Widowmine EMP combo does a great job, but I ultimately just don't think he has enough. Archons are going to go down, but they're going to absorb a lot of damage here. Force Field's keeping some of this army out of the fight. Fresh Warpin of Stalkers is going to push this army back, and again, we see 16 workers going down from the Zealot backstab. Hellraiser taking out Kaz in the 3-0 in this series that is definitely and irrefutably a best of 5. Wow. Hellraiser putting up some really good games. I don't think there was ever a moment where he was really truly in jeopardy of losing. I think I may have I guess I didn't technically pick my winner. I said it's got to be Hellraiser or Night Phoenix. So Hellraiser definitely Tony's got the skills to pay the bills here. He hasn't dropped a single map, it looks like, in bracket stages. I'll pop over to Wikipedia to see how he fared in the in groups. Yeah, he went 12-0 in groups. So he won all 6 of his group series, going 12-0, and he's won 2-0 his first bracket series, 3-0 his second bracket series. So he currently has a perfect record here. It's worth noting Night Phoenix also went 7-0 in groups. His group is a little bit bigger than Hellraiser, and won his first bracket series 2-0 versus Awers. Kaz, actually his first losses as well. He won his group without dropping a map, 7-0, 14-0 in map score, and only just lost to Hellraiser. And then Damaga as well. Won his group without dropping a map, won 6 series, going 12-0 in maps, and losing here to Rostock. So far, Hellraiser and Night Phoenix undefeated in this tournament. Not even a single map. So those would be the ones that we're going to keep an eye on. Of course, we're not going to count out those gents in the lower bracket, namely Awers, who knocked out Gretz today. I'm interested to see how much further Damaga can get. Had a great run in groups. He's been a staple of the pro scene for many, many years now. This is the end of the coverage of the Ukrainian Cup this week. But be sure to check back in right here on this stream next week for more coverage of the Ukrainian Cup. Oh yeah, Kaz is in the lower bracket now as well. Where did he head to in the lower bracket? I believe it was, let's get a refresh real quick. I don't know where that one is going to go. Lower bracket quarters. Okay. So he's not going to have an opponent decided just yet, Kaz is. But he's still deeper in the lower bracket than any of the other players have reached so far. But like I said, Ukrainian Cup, more coverage right here on this stream next week. Be sure to follow the stream to know when we go live so you don't miss a single game of that. Also be sure to follow myself and Sniper StarCraft League on Twitter as well, so you don't miss out on anything. It's at XJustXJordanX on Twitter, and for Sniper StarCraft League, it's at S_StarCraft. Be sure to do those follows. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to covering more games of the Ukrainian Cup. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Like, that's the thing, like, Prototype was defending so well until he wasn't. like it was going... like, sure, he did lose quite a bit of draws, but like, you know, he was building these Evo chambers and stuff, and like, you know, he did defend quite a lot of them, and then he didn't. And then all of them burned. Also, hello, Migs.
Hello,
chat.
Miguelito. Hello.